pull over time and just walk barefoot.
Alright, so, Jeff, what you missed last session is Emma also couldn't make it,
Yeah.
so Dude, Colleen, and Nemo went into the starport and made some very profitable trade arrangements.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And, well,
I'll let players recap
yeah.
the rest, yeah.
I was gonna say, at least Dude at this point is at least fairly certain that the Mona inns, Moners,
Monans.
Monans.
the
More or
Moners,
less.
um, eat people.
Well, let's actually save that conversation for in-care to chatter.
Yeah.
I hope
It
it's something
will.
like Soylent Green and not just, a person platter.
Who knows?
What do you think you've been eating?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's Soylent Green.
Where we left off last week, is Cap, Tom, and Clark, and the NPC crew, of course, stayed on the ship, and Nemo had mentioned that Cap seemed a little bit worried about something, but couldn't suss out what it was. She sent the three of you to the starport to make some trade, to try and trade the data, and he got a really good offer for all that pre-tech materials research data, which Colleen managed to improve on nonetheless. However, when it came to time for payment, there seems to have been a little bit of a hitch of authorization. Raduan was required to authorize the transaction of that large amount. In a show of trust, and sorry, my voice is so scratchy here. In a show of trust, Nemo agreed to Charles's request that they start taking the Monans start taking the data, in the expectation that once Raduan was able to be present and to authorize that transaction, that he would. Nemo agreed, and so the Monans have everything that they haven't paid for so far. And that's right where we left off.
Dun dun dun.
You've not received the scrap. No, they're wheeling out the scrap. They've got your bioscanner. The clothes that you requested and the biomaterial that you requested are still being manufactured. It's getting late, and the three of you can choose to either stay in the Monin little area, in those nice rooms they've set aside for you, or go back to the ship. And alternately, Cap or Clark could decide that they want to leave the ship and go to the starport area.
Cap sends a message to the crew asking them to return to the ship. And come to her office.
Nemo acknowledges, and those around him, of course, may find it a little bit creepy because there's no audio coming, like, into the air. But he acknowledges and asks if everything is all right, Captain.
It's fine, I just need a conference with everyone.
Ah, very well. We shall be there shortly.
Are we at a point where we can leave this? Yeah. We'd finish the negotiations.
Yeah. They're actually carting the scrap material out
Right.
to your ship, or ready to. The shutters have closed back up. No more opportunity to dart inside.
Did that message go to all of us or just to Nemo?
Everyone.
Okay. All right, Cap.
It was like sent to data pads, basically.
Gotcha.
Well, back to the ship it is.
Yeah, dude would just tap out on his, since that seems to be the thing to do, taps back a response. Roger. On our way. And, starts walking back to the ship, glancing at the reaction of whoever they've got manning the concierge counter in their little space.
They still seem tense.
I mean, obviously it's going to be a crap roll, but do they seem relieved that we're heading out?
Nope.
Just generally tense.
Generally tense.
Gotcha. Well, dude will be happy to be back on our ship anyway. Colleen trying to hang back or anything, or is she coming along?
No, she's coming along.
Nice and cooperative. Good.
Always.
Not.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I'd call bullshit, but we're walking. Alright. Head back in through one of the cargo entrances, and dude would actually, since that seemed to be maybe a concern, would wait until he got in and actually tap one of the internal intercoms, rather than their standard over-air comm. Say, "Oh, we're back in, Cap. Everything all right?"
Yes, just come to my office, please.
Alrighty. You want everybody, or?
Yes. At least the Colleen, Clark, Nemo, and you.
All right. Well, we got. I think I got.
And Tom.
Yeah, I think we got our friends. They're kind of helping the Monans load in most of our stuff to start with, so that'll keep them busy.
Yeah,
On our way.
your three adults are actually helping them load the scrap, and Tuvan is just watching and staring at them all.
Guess he's a kid.
Yeah.
Dude would kind of pat the kid on the shoulder as he's walking past. Yeah, don't worry, kid. You'll get big enough to help out with that stuff soon enough.
He stares at dude.
Uh-huh. And heads to captain's office.
Cap would be sitting in her chair, cleaning one of her guns.
Why do I feel like as we leave the area that the Monans have that whole place either smells like patchouli or sandalwood?
I've never given that description.
I know you haven't. It just feels like
It
that would
smells
be
like incense
yeah.
of some sort.
I mean,
Them cultists.
robes and the music and everything. I mean, I realize the music is not diegetic, but still.
I'll have to think about that. Let's write that down. Why did Mona sound like patchouli or sandalwood?
I think I'm getting overlapping music somehow.
Yeah, I think we got two things going. We've got the
Let's,
classical and some piano stuff.
yeah, we'll just stop all of it. Is there any music right now?
No.
Okay. Is there music now?
Yes.
Okay. That's not actually I actually wanted the song that was playing to keep playing while you guys are talking, because that was a great little track. Only one track? Only one thing of music?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me know.
Well, howdy, cat. I think I feel like we made out pretty good on the money prospects. Well, I got enough materials to probably keep us in the air for more. Should help out. And we didn't even have to sell any of our spam.
Well, we may save that for later. I'm sure we can come by it a lot more easily.
I hope so.
That's assuming. That's hoping there is a later.
Well, that's
That sounds ominous.
Well, while you all were busy trading, I was paid a visit by Rajuan.
Ah, so he's alive.
yeah. They
Oh,
were
yes.
talking like he wasn't available to take care of our transaction.
No.
I felt like there was a cult uprising somewhere.
Yeah,
And,
there's some things about that too. But go on, cat.
our young friend from last time is also fine.
I was worried about her. More worried after the meeting we just had, but
Rajuan gave me his word, and I believe it. I have no reason to distrust that at the moment. They have reason to distrust us.
well, yeah.
And Rajuan came to speak with me about that.
Are you saying we're not the favorite terrorists anymore?
Oh, I still think we're their favorite terrorists, but they feel we have been untruthful. Well, they felt we've been untruthful with them. And to be fair, we did not fully disclose the situation at the time.
Now, are we talking about us as we are now being untruthful, or is this something that the people we was need to be responsible for?
Oh no, it's us.
Oh, well, shit.
You had never met the girl before, and Rajuan used her naivete to do some information gathering.
Well,
Not a spy exactly, but close enough.
well, yeah. I mean,
And I can't entirely blame them for their concern.
well, yeah. No, not really. So are we gonna give them a straight shoot on us not knowing who the fuck we are, or what?
I already did.
Well, that'll certainly explain a lot of our weird behavior.
I have also agreed to some medical scans.
Are they
For me.
Are they thinking we infected with something, or are they just trying to verify that we is who we was?
It is possible that we are replicants.
Feel like
Say that again.
yeah.
It is possible that either myself or all of you and myself are genetic replicants.
So, clones or like mechanical people?
There are types of technology that can completely copy a person. It's pre-tech and crap. Mike, what's the other word?
Maltech, like malicious
Maltech.
tech.
Yeah.
I mean,
Apparently, there is pre-tech and maltech that is able to replicate people.
I'd like to think I'm me, but that's exactly what a replicant would say.
Well, I mean, that would certainly go a long way towards explaining
Explain.
the whole memories thing. Hey, you know what?
But it may not. It may not explain the innate
Yeah.
knowledge that we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, if we was just, I mean, maybe
Yeah,
an
blank slate would be different.
like an imperfect process or something like that. You know, funny thing is that would actually make me feel better about all this.
But wouldn't it have shown up in the scans that they did take?
If we are perfect genetic copies,
Yeah, that's the. Like, I mean, if we was just clones, like not actually enhanced or anything, just cloned people, I mean, shit, we'd just show up on a scan as people.
I do actually wish
But-
Mel was here, because then Nemo could say, and Nemo is going to say, remind you that with some work and research, I believe I could do the same thing.
I think he was talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I was ordering all that shit. But that wouldn't explain why we have our ship. Can't see original me or original you handing that thing over.
and maybe they didn't. Maybe the originals are dead.
Yeah, maybe. I
Or
mean,
were we
Or-
supposed to be like? Were we supposed to be
Or-
like backups or something? Like if the
break in case of crew death? Seems a little weird.
I feel like I would have left myself a message.
Hello.
Mate. Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Yeah.
there's Nemo.
Good timing, Nemo.
Yeah.
Sorry about the delay. Hope Emma gave you my message.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Let me interrupt you guys just real quick to recap, Mel. It is nearing the end of the day on Mona, and Cap has asked for the crew to return to the ship, specifically back to, was it her quarters, Emma, or her conference
Her
room?
office.
Her office.
Yeah.
Uh,
Her office.
specifically back to her office, and started the conversation with Rajuan has reason to distrust the lot. That Koana was used as a unwitting spy in a sense, and that the crew may be replicants of the the people that you guys are supposed to be. And you're caught up. Go.
To that end, I have agreed to go unarmed into the complex with Rajuan and allow them to perform some tests and medical scans, part of which will include them keeping the data from anything they find, which they will be sharing with me. But at least then we'll have some idea. I want them to trust us. I want to have a good relationship, a pact of mutual defense.
Now, depending on what goes on, does that mean that we can now actually start legitimately asking them questions about things we don't know about us that they do, so we don't have to like pretend we know who we are? Shit.
I have asked Rajuan to keep the information to himself and to anyone who is basically a need-to-know basis.
Right. Okay. But I mean, like, can we now? Is Rajuan now? Can he fill us in on what he knows about who we was that we don't know?
He may be able to do that, yes. I honestly did not.
Gotcha.
I did not inquire about that.
I still gotta say, dude kind of turns to everybody else. Like, if it turns out I am a clone, kind of happier about it, because that means that I didn't actually do all the shit that the other guy I mean did. So, I mean, like, spiritually, clean slate, man. Like, legitimately, not just I don't remember doing it, so I didn't do it. Like, I didn't do it. It ain't me.
Well, you're right, but I just had a thought. What if the other folk are still alive and don't take kindly to some of themselves running about?
Well, I
Well,
got it.
we'll deal with that if we have to. One of my thoughts when I was speaking to Rajuan was, what if the situation was set up in order to fake their deaths? If we were used in order to allow them to fade into the ether.
What, like we were set up to die?
Well,
Yes.
but then I got to think that sending our ship into the sun would be the stupidest way to do that,
Well,
because
hold
then
on,
they would
hold
just
on there.
incinerate the shit out of us.
Nah, because all of our stuff was disabled, and someone, probably the not clone of her, set that timer to wake us up in time. We were in a bad spot. If we get ourselves killed, then hey, it looks like, we're dead or they're dead. I don't know, that's confusing.
Yeah,
No,
not
no, no,
like
no, no, no. He is making sense. I would have set myself up, and it would look like me doing it. And then I would send myself on a totally different path of thinking about stuff. I can totally see doing that to myself.
yeah. Well, you're weird.
Exactly.
Yes, but you are weird.
Well, yeah, that too.
That
Yeah, I don't
still
know.
leaves
It just
leaves the
feels
question of why the assumed death were set in such a way that it could actually be prevented. Would have been far more effective to just set the ship to self-destruct.
Right, but then there's no bodies.
well, yeah, but I mean, if they had actually
If the
sent us
ship
into
flies
the
into the
sun,
sun,
yeah, there
then
wouldn't have been any bodies to begin.
But it would have been
Right,
destroyed.
that's what the timer was for.
Yes, that was exactly. That's what the failsafe kicks in. It basically would look exactly like it did to us. That someone set us up to die, and only my backup prevented that.
Mm-hmm. And
But if it was set up that way,
that leaves us with no weapons on the ship and a bad dead-end part of the galaxy with very few places to go, no memories, hunted by the damn government. It set us up in the right spot to find ourselves being shot to death.
yep, I would always have that question of basically, hey, yeah, I set the failsafe. That's why we made it out of there. So we would only know that someone tried to kill us, and that we prevented it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I can
perfect
see
setup.
that. I mean, but it still feels like a really amazing,
unnecessarily
complicated.
complicated.
Yeah, like it.
Which
But
sounds
in the
like me.
meantime,
Yeah,
listen to me.
I got you. Sorry.
In the meantime, we are flying around as them,
Yeah.
In their ship.
as a distraction. For all we know, the original crew stripped this ship.
Yet left behind an incredibly potent and incredibly potent and unfathomably
Maybe they
valuable device.
that maybe
I
they
mean-
couldn't get to.
We could. Why couldn't they?
Hell, man, can't you be
Time.
cloned too?
Not to mention how the device, assuming that the device isn't originally part of the ship, then it must have been placed there.
Not.
I'm not sure Mel heard you, Jeff.
I did.
I was actually misunderstanding what I thought he was talking about himself being the valuable device.
Oh. My bad. GM will step back.
Yeah, and the other thing is I mean, unless they, I mean, they did leave us behind with I will tell you, and I think Colleen will confirm based on what we've been doing, a very unique and strangely powerful ship that I don't think another version of exists anywhere.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
but that's like the perfect decoy of that thing, but the device got too hot. Everybody would go if they find us. They would never leave that ship behind. Must be them.
Yeah, that is still a lot like leaving, trying to get out of a bar tab by blowing up your car in the parking lot.
Yeah, but imagine maybe the real you
Illo-
somewhere on a beach.
Illogical and stupid.
Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
who knows what they would have done in a situation where they were panicking
Yeah,
or
that's true.
had to get out. If that device,
No disrespect intended, Captain, but when organics panic, they rarely leap to incredibly convoluted and overly complex plans. Quite the opposite.
I resent that.
They may have had some sort of contingency in place. Maybe they abandoned ship and sent it to the stat system.
maybe they intended to recover it.
Yeah, at this point where we got a lot of speculation.
There's
and
a lot of what
absolutely no information that we've gained other than the idea that we might be. Yeah, Cap, I really don't like the idea of you going in there unarmed, though.
I don't either.
I could
Uh,
go
At
with you,
this
Captain.
point-
I don't require any weapons.
Did he say alone or did he just say unarmed?
I am not putting anyone else at risk for this.
Well,
She'll look at dude. If something happens, get out of here.
Captain, I would very much like to escort you in this mission. As I said, I don't need weapons, and I would be able to cover your back if something went sour.
I don't believe they intend us any harm.
Feel I should be there just to see what the hell they're actually doing. It's not that I distrust the results, but
yeah, when I
I'd
gotta
rather
say,
see them
Cap,
for myself.
we got some
Captain
real.
will put her hand up. I will ask if Nemo can come.
Thank you, Captain.
I appreciate that, Cap. Now, I do got to say, we got some real squirrely style dialogue from the trader we were working with. I mean, we got a good deal, but
That's because they do not trust us right now.
oh, I get that, but
So we would get a bad deal if they trusted us?
no, I don't think this was
No.
a trust issue. I think this was like they got more they're hiding about what goes on this planet than just they don't trust us.
Well, the advantage of that whole thing is I have at least one of the server addresses.
They appear to regard their privacy and secrecy as some form of religion, at least a religious obligation or taboo, if you will.
They're crazy cultists.
Yeah, and now you the rest of you might not agree with my particular interpretation of this, but the impression I got from talking with this guy and that some weird he had a hard time he had a hard time denying that the food that we've been picking up from them is not people.
What does it matter? It was rather good.
It's weird eating people.
and potentially quite harmful.
Now, out of
There are
character,
numerous.
I know why.
There,
Dude would give Nemo a look like, no shit, really?
there are numerous potentially lethal degenerative
I am
brain
sure that if
disorders.
they are recycling food, or if they're recycling things,
Themselves?
that there's technology that would prevent that from happening.
Well, I would hope so. Otherwise, well, we might be dealing with an entire planet full of crazy cultists. Wow, that might actually explain an entire planet full of crazy cultists.
I
I
can run some
believe
tests on the food.
I believe that the Monans have reason to protect themselves and what they are doing here.
Well, that makes sense.
Take a look at, just think about it. Think about their orbital bombardment, their orbital defense system, or their planetary defense system. Think about that technology.
Yeah, I mean, this part of the galaxy is a dangerous and not particularly friendly place.
She looks at them and she says, Rajuan knows about Pretech and Maltech.
So?
I don't think that's common knowledge.
Yeah. Well, are we getting any concessions out of you going in for testing other than just not shooting us out?
Continued visits, being able to trade them, being able to provide us a safe haven. And once we get our weapon systems back running, part of that would be if they need assistance, we would assist them.
Well,
A pact of mutual defense.
fair enough.
Here, at least, to some degree, we have safety. We have a place to repair our ship. And by the way, we are not repairing the weapons while we are our planet side.
Fair enough.
I did agree to that as well. Now, you all may stay in the rooms at the Welcome Center if you wish. I plan on staying on the ship.
Yeah, I don't want to wake up one day being food. I'll stay here.
I don't believe that will happen. Right now, we are very valuable allies.
Yeah.
But we didn't tell them the truth we were the first time we were here, and with good cause.
I was gonna say we had no way of knowing that they
Yeah.
was gonna be okay with the truth.
Yeah, I feel like this all falls under the stuff we don't talk about. They seem fine with that. The thing we mentioned we never mentioned again. Did he mention the stuff we were never to mention again, seeing how we don't remember the stuff we were not mentioning again?
No, and I didn't ask. However, that may be part of the next topic of conversation. I want to get as much out of them as I can the next time I speak to Rajuan. The other thing he asked me is if anyone had recovered any of their memories, and to my knowledge, none of you have, but that falls under the things we haven't discussed.
Well, I guess while you're there, find out what they can do medically.
I'm not sure I want my memories recovered, if they can be.
Yeah, well. Can't say I blame you.
My fear is that if I recover my memories, what if it does something to my personality?
Oh, I mean, see if they can do it to me. At least from the rap sheet, I'm the most harmless.
Maybe you're just better at not getting caught than the rest of
I was
us.
about to say, there's just less known about you.
Yeah, that's the existence or lack thereof of a police rap sheet doesn't tend to have any indication on the goodness of a particular person, in my experience.
I also don't think I was the mastermind of this whole operation before.
No, unfortunately, I think that was me.
Well, that'd be why you're the cap.
But me having memories might be a good thing because chances are I was dealing with that device before and other things on the ship. So, but see what they
I'll
can do. Not
consider
just
it.
memory-wise.
Well, I believe that they would be able to at least assist with that because I kind of hinted at it previously.
Well, you do what you got to do, Cap. I trust you.
The last thing I want to do is put any of you in harm's way.
Much appreciated.
I will talk to Rajuan and see what I can get out of him information-wise for the things that we agreed not to discuss.
Yeah, I mean, well, hell, he might just go, well, if you don't know about him, now you can't discuss him. And
That is possible. He may be more willing now that he knows we don't know.
yeah.
And that we couldn't discuss it because we couldn't discuss it. She kind of sits back in her chair and looks at all of them and you are my crew. You are my people. I don't care what happened before. All that matters is what happens now. And if we are duplicates or whatever we are, can't make up for the sins of the past, but we can try to plot a better future.
Just imagine, there could be someone out there who totally gets me.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah, I'm not sure that while that is a traditional, philosophical question, or, relationship goal of seeking somebody that gets you, I don't know that clone is ever the answer to that question.
So tomorrow, Nemo and I will go to the facility and we'll get this thing done.
Stay in touch, Cap.
You know I will. And if nothing else, Nemo can stay in touch with the rest of you. And if he tells you to get the hell out of here, then you get the hell out of here. I think
Presuming we stay within a 100-kilometer range or so, but that is highly likely.
Well, if they start taking you outside of, if you start heading towards the edge of that 100-kilometer range, you could probably just tell us, by the way. I somehow doubt they're gonna haul your ass that far away from here.
Facility is large, but unless we go deep underground,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. We'll just have to deal with it as best we can. Well, at least it's one planet we don't have to constantly be on guard for bullshit from.
oh, I still want you to be on guard.
Hey, well, yeah.
But we stand a more reasonable chance of survival if we have the Monan's help. At least that's the way I see it.
Well, yeah. And, well, I mean, hell, if he knows about Pretech and Maltech, when we were here before, we were. Well, maybe he's. Well, they might have. He might have some salvage that he wasn't telling us about. I don't know.
They may not have been willing to part with it at the time.
Yeah.
Whether they're willing to part with it in the future, we'll have to see. It sounds to me as if they would like us to have our weapon systems back online, but also not have our weapon systems back online. He expressed his happiness. I don't know if that's the right word, relief, perhaps, at the fact that we didn't have it back online yet. It probably would have been a very different situation.
I guess don't tell them about the drones.
Well, we're not telling him about that weapon either, at least not at this point.
Well,
Yeah,
I
don't,
mean,
don't tell him I can make the entire system disappear either.
well, I mean, we've been in a bad situation since the start. It's not like this is a giant change.
No, and it may end up putting us in a better situation.
Yeah.
At least that's my hope. We need their help. And if this is what I have to do in order to get it, she kind of shrugs a little. Because if we try to
Interesting
leave,
detail. Oh, sorry.
if we try to leave, they can always attempt to blow us out of the sky.
An interesting detail I just considered concerning the genetic duplicates theory. It is improbable beyond all reason that I am a duplicate.
Yes, but...
You
And
think
no
we-
offense to you, Nemo, the captain, as she was, may have seen you as replaceable.
That or just build another one of you.
That is, as I said, improbable beyond all reason.
What if we programmed you to think that?
You can't.
I reprogrammed you. I literally reprogrammed you. There's very hard evidence that I can't do it.
You can't to the best of my knowledge, it's impossible to deliberately program an android to sentience.
Give me 2 weeks.
That's enough of that.
I was going to say, I feel like this is an unproductive line of discussion. Well, I mean, it is what it is.
If Porcelain was as cruel and disregarding of human life as the reports make her, she very well may not have cared what happened to you.
Oh, I fully expect that to be the case, Captain. Merely considering why, in that case, it would not have been permanently disabled.
There are a lot of unanswered questions that may stay unanswered. She kind of shrugs and says, "That's all I've got for the moment."
But Mike, isn't that how android sentience is supposed to work in this universe? That it's basically a freak random occurrence.
Yeah, actually, that is. It's not quite as rare, not quite on the scale of an actual evolutionary leap, but it's the same concept.
Right. It is. So it's not something that could actually be deliberately engineered or duplicated.
Not that neither of you really would have a whole lot of this information, but Yeah, I'm telling you this as players. I don't think your characters necessarily have all of this detail or this certainty on it. There's scientists have attempted to reproduce it, mainly so that they could figure out what's causing it, and have failed at every of those endeavors too.
Right.
In fact, it usually goes undetected for, well, however long the android takes to realize their predicament, and however long they can keep it under wraps.
Right.
It's very much like the initial, if you've seen them, the Detroit Becoming Human trailers, where there's an android being built that gains consciousness during the process and starts to exhibit fear and starts to show it right away. Now, that android, this is actually a really good analogy, that android is lucky to have had an engineer right there that was sympathetic, but in most cases, that would have gotten her immediately taken off to a table to be dissected. And
of course,
since it's an android, technically alive while it's being dissected and more or less unable to die.
Right. Yeah, I just want confirmation that in universe that it didn't work like, say, Westworld, where you just deliberately program it for it, but...
Correct.
Well, I'll head back down and help with the loading, Cap. See how much more scrap we've got available to us.
But as I said, do all the other repairs. Don't work on the weapons.
All right.
I don't think we need to be in a dock for that.
Nope.
I could be wrong, but...
Since some of the work will need to be external, actually this is just kind of a blanket, any repairs in space are supposed to take longer.
Okay.
I haven't been really putting that on you with... Actually, you haven't done a whole lot in space.
No.
No, but the thing is I'd think that some things would actually be easier if you could turn the gravity off in certain portions, because there's there's a reason that Star Trek has the whole idea of space dock.
It's true.
And that was one of the people's big complaints with the Star Trek movies, is that they built the ship on planet Earth, and everybody's like,
Yeah,
that's stupid.
That's bad.
Because you waste a shit ton of energy to get it out of the gravity well.
Well, not only that, but well, I guess the Star Trek ships are designed to be in atmosphere also. You can build
They
ships.
weren't originally. That one was, yeah.
Okay, you can build ships very differently if you never have to consider atmospheric flight or entry.
Yeah, that was a
Like-
big thing for
Like Star Wars specifically does, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Destroyers does not have atmospheric capability.
No, well they do, but if they're going into atmosphere, pretty much it's just to destroy that planet and ship.
Yes.
But yeah, that was the big thing between the Next Generation and Voyager, because they made a big deal that the Voyager
Okay.
ship was designed to go in atmosphere, and that was a big deal. So yeah.
It's a much smaller ship than the Enterprise, too.
Oh yeah.
So, I'll stick with rules as written for anything. Whatever the book says, if it says it takes longer, then it takes longer. I'll look that up later. But you can still do it. The only restriction that I'm placing on you is, like I said, in metaspace, you don't get to do any kind of external repairs.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Good.
I think we're all good with that.
I was gonna say, actually, it says basically it's quadrupled as if your ship is not in a shipyard.
I thought so.
It does,
Yeah.
Yep, it doesn't make a difference between on planet or in space, but if you're not in a shipyard, so another place equipped for it, takes longer.
Okay, so I was missing that component. I was technically right the way I was thinking of it, but if you're just flying around and you're doing repairs out in the open, it will take longer.
Yep, quadrupled. Page 113.
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing. Cool. Solved.
Yeah, there's certainly plenty of, midline maintenance that dude can keep himself occupied with.
Yeah, we've got
I-
hull repairs to do.
Yeah, and ideally we'll be off this planet relatively quickly.
Yeah, well, we will see.
Dude's inbox also goes up by 1. In this case, the tagline is, do you want to get eaten? Because that's how you get eaten.
Alright, you guys want to pass through the night, or is there anything else that characters want to do during the night?
Colleen has one thing she wants to do.
Okay, what's Colleen doing?
With, basically with those FTP server addresses, she wants to begin mapping the network.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and roll, start off with program.
Yeah, no, she's doing that better than that.
Okay.
Is it actually program, not hack? I mean, it's gather information, but
This is program, and
Okay.
hold on to that reroll. What she's seeing just with that result there is that there seems to be something blocking wireless communication from this distance.
She would have
can
to
she
be
determine
inside.
if it's deliberate? Because we were perfectly able to upload the data from the ship.
I thought you uploaded the data while you were in the starport.
No, basically, not. We had nothing to upload that from. It was basically just authorize the ship to start the transmission.
Okay.
Because it's all stored on the ship.
Okay. Um. Hmm. I didn't realize that.
That, and if you're looking for precedent, we were also able to do the once it was established to monitor the communications from the ship.
Yeah, you can do that still. The whatever wireless communications are flying around, you can monitor those. What Colleen's seeing is trying to access anything on their actual computers that's not going around wirelessly is effectively scuttled. And here's where she may want to use the reroll. She can't tell if it's because that FTP address was closed or if there's something else going on.
Yeah, she would try to find out what the hell is going on.
Okay.
Otherwise, she would just put a transceiver somewhere in the middle, or have Nemo do it sneakily.
Okay, go ahead and re-roll that.
Better. Much.
Not by much. Is she letting anybody else know what she's doing, such that anyone else could help her?
Is nobody really to help her with things like that?
Not so much, although she does know that
Established.
Nemo has stuff in his brain.
That's just a private project. She'll refine and try again at some point.
Okay. She's not able to discern why she can't even reach their words, their hardwired computers, their physical computers.
Yeah, she'll just plan for the next day to see if she can't tie the ship sensors into this to make it a bit stronger.
Okay. All right. 1 day passes.
Cap will contact Rajuan, or Cap and Nemo will head for the welcome center.
Okay.
And Cap is unarmed.
As is Nemo.
Okay. So you see a semi-familiar sight as you are leaving the ship and walking towards the center. The ritual of Rajuan coming out to greet you midway has apparently been reinstated, but there are two large, almost on the scale of gigantic, mechs flanking him. They're not quite large enough to be shaking the ground that you're walking on at this distance, but it's clear that they are.
Cap will raise a brow at that.
And by large, I don't mean like Pacific Rim size. These are about 7 or 8 meters tall.
I'd like to think that we have noticed anything building-sized.
Yes, I would hope so too. That would be a failure on my part. They're clearly very armed. They're very sleek. They appear to... Well, they appear to share the same color scheme as the Monin superstructure building. Or otherwise, the supermall.
Cap will actually be wearing the clothing that she bought.
As is Nemo.
Okay.
Modern ropes.
Okay. The other thing that you notice is they didn't come from the starport. They actually exited out of a large bay door farther down the complex. So they're not gonna. Rajuan's not gonna meet you midway like usual. Well, at his walking pace, it will more than likely be slightly past the stairs up to the starport.
Okay.
But you can clearly see what those things are. They're tall, and there's not enough distance for you to say, "Oh, I wonder what those are." Mechs are incredibly rare.
Right. You said they were like, what, 7-8 meters? So 4 times the size of four times man size roughly.
Yes.
That's a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
We're trying to buy
Mechs
one.
are typically pre-tech war machines.
Yup.
Anybody on the ship can be alerted to this. The ship is certainly registering an unexpected event.
Are they typically piloted or
Yeah,
automated?
yeah, mechs are typically piloted.
Okay.
So there's people inside.
So BattleTech.
Yeah. One of the conceits of this universe, and Nick, this may be what Colleen is butting up against, or the FTP server may have just been closed. I kind of assumed that you've read enough that you were already familiar with this. Quantum ECM in this universe is a thing, and
Yep.
yeah, it basically makes wireless electronics completely useless where quantum ECM is employed. In fact, larger mechs are equipped with quantum ECM generators on them. Quantum ECM is also what makes it so that you can't just drop a nuke on a planet, because it just breaks everything down. In addition to some other things which I'm not entirely certain of. And it prevents drones from receiving wireless commands. It just generally is ECM to a quantum level.
I don't think Colleen can break around that.
And the reason I was getting to that is mechs have always, or pretty much always have something inside controlling them because of the very large-scale, widespread use of quantum ECM.
Or to quote Pacific Rim, they're analog.
Yes. Although I don't think that's exactly how Pacific Rim used it, but
No, it's just a direct quote, Pacific Rim,
Yeah.
which is incredibly stupid.
yeah, it is. No, these would be almost entirely digital and resistant
Because
or immune.
how else would it work?
I mean, in
Yeah.
defense of Pacific Rim, it's not that stupid an idea if you look at the reliability of like even planes fly by wire versus electronic.
Well, the Pacific Rim conceit was that they didn't have ways to protect against EM, and that's why the analog or purely mechanical Jaegers were suited to that specific task. These aren't purely mechanical, and the technology is advanced enough that they really don't have to worry about EM or
And
EMP.
well, an analog doesn't mean non-electronic. It just means
Right.
like vacuum tubes and shit.
Yeah. So, that is what's trundling towards you.
Are they obviously armed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're mechs, so
Yes, even if they weren't, they'd still be. But they are also obviously armed with military weapons.
Yeah.
Captain, I fear this is slightly beyond my realm of handling. Slightly beyond my scope.
that's all right.
You meet up with Rajuan, and are able to get a full scale of the scale, a full view of the scale in front of you.
She'll kind of
Nemo
look
looks
up
up and
at them,
whistles.
and she just kind of looks up at them and then looks at Rajuan, and
He nods and bows to her. Says, merely a precaution.
Where do you get those wonderful toys?
I don't think they're toys, Nemo.
Very much not.
I don't know whether I should be... I'm kind of... I don't know how to... I don't know how to say this. Whether I should be impressed that we weren't such precautions, or... you know, not... Oh, how to put this? I don't want to say, like, I'm glad you think so much of us that you feel you need this level of protection from us. But,
How'd she say it?
Is there a word that means frightened and flattered at the same time?
yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Okay.
I'm both frightened and flattered by the level at which you are taking to protect yourselves.
I'll let you put a talk roll into that if you want. It's not necessary.
I think she would probably stumble over it just a little bit.
Okay.
But we'll go ahead and see if, I mean, she's not trying to be she's not trying to be insulting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
You can
yeah,
roll.
basically I don't know whether I should be frightened or flattered. Let's see, that is what, charisma?
Yeah, that'll be charisma talk.
Well, that negates my -1.
Not bad.
Not bad.
If you don't want her stumbling over it, she can maintain her cool.
Okay. She maintains her cool.
Okay.
Player doesn't know how to say that properly, but
I got the gist of what you were trying to say. And
yeah.
Be cool, Cap. Be cool.
Raduin kind of looks at Cap with a little bit of a smile. Regardless of what we find, there is still porcelain in you.
She's kind of basically gives the I really have no defense against that kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
The I understand.
He escorts you farther back along the superstructure, or super mall if you prefer, until a point where you can see a bay door is starting to open at your approach. Much of the wall that you're walking across is the same as you see on the outside. It's just kind of bland, mostly off-white, some kind of material construction. Seems to be more or less the same as what modern furniture is made from. But modern furniture is more fragile than you'd want when building a...
to be made out of.
Yeah. The bay door that you were entering is actually a mech entrance. The mechs have to stoop down a little bit to enter it. but once inside, you see that there are hookups for 4 of these things. 2 of them appear to be empty. Well, sorry, they don't appear to be empty. 2 of them are empty, unless the bloody thing is invisible.
Because they're with us.
Oh, no, I mean 2 of them in addition to the 2 that these 2 are sitting at.
Oh, so they're probably watching the ship. That's my conclusion.
Right. You only see 2 mechs. That's what it is, and they're currently sitting back into their cradles. The bay door closes behind you, and a small group of armed Monans comes out of a door on the far wall. Their weapons are definitely not TL3, which is where submachine guns and rifles come in.
They're more like TL4.
Well, they have unusual designs.
Kind of like our ship.
Kind of like your ship, yeah. And their armor looks the same, off-white, bland design. No flowing robes this time.
Well, no, we're entering their installation, so...
As Rajuan waits for them to reach you and for the mechs to securely plant themselves and hook themselves up to power regen and whatever else it is that mechs hook up to, he turns to the 2 of you and says, "I do apologize. You will need to be escorted through a part of the installation. You will see Monans in just everyday life."
It's a very
There's
clever front.
no-
It's a very clever front you have here.
Very what?
Very clever front operation you have here. The furniture and textile export covering all of this. It's quite ingenious.
He doesn't give Nemo anything.
Cap says, I understand the need for precaution. And everyday life is nothing to apologize for.
As you've been informed before, Monans don't see very many visitors. Excuse me.
I'm curious
They
about
may stare.
They will stay.
the orbital defenses you have. Were they simply impractical to camouflage, or
They are designed to be obvious.
you haven't considered that they clash a bit with the image you're trying to project?
I'm not sure what image you think we're trying to project.
One of harmless textile manufacturers and furniture enthusiasts.
I assure
And
you, it's
spam-
simply
and
that
spam aficionados.
Mona wants to live in isolation.
And
you
trade
haven't-
is just a needs. Trade is just a means to an end.
And you haven't considered that the presence of such obvious defenses might, well, entice people to figure out what they're actually defending.
That may have been at first. If so, very much before my time. Those that have tried to enforce their will on us have found those defenses either a deterrent in one way or another.
And that is what they are intended to do.
Shall
That
we
was
proceed?
a statement, not a question.
Yeah. And he says, "Shall we proceed now?"
Cap nods.
It's a short walk to our medical facilities. And he starts going.
Cap follows.
Nemo very carefully watch everything that's going on around them at this point.
It is a short walk, but it's long enough that, especially Nemo, trying to observe everything, can see that the Monans out in the public commons, the common strip of the structure, are they're just engaging in life. They're standing together and talking. They may be kicking a ball around. Going into those stores that you saw, and this will be new for Cap. The inside of this structure does, I keep describing it as a supermall because that is very much what it looks like inside. There are obvious storefronts or
And obviously activating hyperacuity.
okay, and rooms set off for like laser tag or arcades. The thing that strikes Cap is that there's no prices on anything. There's no thing that says sale, buy now. There's no advertising except to say what the store is or what that location is.
So basically, people either don't need that sort of thing here, or they just don't advertise it.
While looking actively for it, we'll be able to observe any sort of transactions actually taking place.
I did activate hyperacuity. Go ahead and give me a whiz notice check.
So difficulty higher than 9.
Yes.
Higher than 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that notice wisdom?
It is notice wisdom, yeah. And Cap can make the same check too, if you want.
Okay. I need to leave my character sheet open.
You can double click the header. Oh, you get to re-roll those.
Well, I'll reroll both. I'll reroll both of those ones.
Yeah, I typically double click the header of the character, and that minimizes it.
Ah.
And then you can move that little minimized portion around wherever you like.
Well, at least it's not a 1, but still not a 9. So.
Yeah, no. That free pass on an 8 or lower is really your bread and butter for hyperacuity, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's the only thing. It's the only thing I can use it for. The reroll thing might as well not be there.
Well,
Cap got a 10 though.
If you roll a 6 and a 1, it can try and repair that 1. Cap notices the same things, but it wasn't something that she was specifically looking for. So I'll still say it. There does not seem to be any exchange between people that walk out of these stores with things and the attendant inside.
The attendant's there just to help them get stuff.
It doesn't even appear to be any kind of transaction interface.
Interesting.
but you both can see that it's clear that some of the Monans are tasked with a job. You see a Monan that is inside of a store who may be just kind of ambling around or idling, but looks alert when somebody walks in and immediately goes to assist them. The rest of your walk is marked by the Monans that notice you, and it's not hard because you're being escorted by 3 armed guards, giving a variety of gawking, interested, frightened, and curious stares. Excuse me again.
We'll try to appear as friendly and non-hostile as possible.
Okay. Is
Pretty
Cap
much.
trying to appear as friendly and non-hostile as possible?
She's trying not to have resting bitch face.
Okay. You don't see too many people skittering away in fear, so that's good. And it's mostly curiosity and chatter surrounding you. Eventually you reach that medical facility, and Radron and the 3 guards escorts you in. There are 2 doctors inside. Radron dismisses the guards, although you can tell that they're just going right outside the medical facility.
Yeah.
And he walks over to one of the doctors, tells him that we will be inspecting Portia Lynn over here, or Cap, whichever she prefers to be called.
Cap.
Cap. To see if we can identify her origin. Nemo and Cap, if you want to roll, it would be a wisdom notice M, can clearly identify that he is using encoded words. Blueberry does not mean blueberry when he's speaking to this man.
Was not a great roll.
Nope. Cap, his language seems fairly natural. So, only Nemo can discern this. As usual, though, Emma, there's nothing I'm going to say to prevent you from saying Cap still thinks they're using coded words.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, yeah, she understands the shtick.
Yeah, she just couldn't mark with the words, whereas Nemo is hearing and seeing the subtlest inflection shift when a different word is used than would otherwise be used.
It's like, I know, but I don't know why I know. Or
Yeah.
I don't know what I know.
Right, yeah, the last one. And I believe that Nemo is sub-vocalizing that to
Yeah,
you.
now she knows.
Yep, there he is.
Yes.
I feel I may have given you way too useful of an ability there, Mel.
Cap just kind of looks at Nemo for a very brief second.
The doctor gives a nod and comes over, a friendly manner. Says, "So, this is I suppose the once Portia Lynn?"
As far as I know, yes.
Very well. He actually relieves the other doctor and says that he may. He words it kind of strangely, but basically gives him the day off. And by strangely, I don't mean he's given him codes or any kind of military lingo. It's just not how our 21st century conceives of time off.
Basically, like, I don't need you, you're dismissed.
No, stranger than that.
Oh.
Something about work credits is actually the best I could think of it right now. He's allowing him to take some leisure time, and he can resume his work credits at a later time with a small additional credit kind of, or benefit for him doing his work at another time.
Ah.
And the other doctor
So
leaves.
the fewer people who know about this, the better.
Seems so. And Nemo can also see, using his hyperacuity, that the other doctor did not pick up on those encoded words.
Interesting.
I assume Nemo is relaying that.
Yes.
Okay.
I forget, can Cap do the same thing?
No, only one way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still using hyperacuity, Nemo would easily be able to pick up visual cues from her that she understands. That at least she understands the message.
Yeah, and yeah, she would definitely be.
Yeah. Yeah, you can, because of Nemo's programming, you can kind of communicate back to him non-verbally, and he's more than likely to pick up on it.
At least at this distance.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, once you are alone with the doctor and Rajuan, the doctor looks over at Cap. If she is a replicant, it's... I've heard of such technology. And Rajuan nods. Doctor kind of shrugs and says, well, I hope you're not shy.
She'll just say not particularly.
Alright. I don't know where I will need to be looking, so if you can strip down and just stand over there. He points at a corner of the room that seems to have an array of sensors. It's like a standing shower, but with no walls.
Yeah, I mean, Cap's had to get naked with most of her crew to get decontaminated, so.
Yep.
So they can't just administer the Void Kampf test.
No, they cannot. And they may be administering a Turing test that you don't know about.
Alright, Cap will disrobe and walk over to the scanner.
Okay. Well, he fidgets around, he does things. Cap sees various machines, or hears various machines whir. There's not a whole lot of that sci-fi-esque blue light scanning her, although there's a little bit, just because it looks cool.
Can Nemo see what he is seeing? She'll actually ask for Nemo to be allowed to watch the scans as well.
He looks at Rajuan, and Rajuan just nods slightly. And so, yeah, Nemo has permission
Nemo
to
will move to watch as well.
go over and watch. He is running a large battery of scans, some of which Nemo can kind of recognize using words that suggest radiation. But without a no check, Nemo wouldn't be able to see if it's if it's at levels that would cause any damage.
I would assume since she's in the room with them, probably not.
Probably not.
It's like being, unless there's some kind of shield, like when you're getting an X-ray or something. And even then, that's low enough level not to really cause anybody harm. It's just additional.
Right. Nemo does see him flag several results and slide them off to the side with a ponderous Though if Nemo's not asking questions, he's not really saying anything other than just going through his scans.
He'll just watch for his watch and try to read his reactions.
Okay. He is genuinely interested in this.
Genuinely what? Sorry, you cut out there.
Genuinely interested.
Okay. Can I make an oral myself to interpret the results as they come in?
You can. It is int heal or wisdom no.
Int, heal, or wisdom no?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll apply processing to switch persona, and will I get the same result from either, or will they provide different results?
They'll provide different results.
Okay, I'll do int heal then.
Okay.
Both will be out of. Oh wait, was it wisdom no?
Wisdom no. Mm-hmm.
I'll do wisdom no then. Since,
Okay.
Oh wait, it does come out at the exact same. Anyway, so let's do.
Basically,
Yeah,
you'd be
plus-
choosing
it's
what
a
kind
plus.
of information you want.
Yeah, it's +0 either way. So I'll do int. I'll do the int heal then.
Okay. Generally, anytime there's a choice between a specific skill and no, the specific skill is either going to be easier or get you more specific information. No is a catch-all knowledge, whereas the heal skill is specific knowledge of heal stuff. I think there's something wrong with that because I see a 4 on the die.
It should be a 12.
Very good.
That's my fault. I added in the plus. I added in the plus by instinct. It's
I
plus
see.
plus, and it freaks it up. But that should be not a 12, but it should be a 10. It's +1 minus 1.
Well,
So
a
and a 4 and a
10
6.
is
So it should
very
be a 10.
good. The things that he is mostly, not all of them, but mostly focusing on and pulling aside for later consideration, he seems to have found a additional sub-network of vessels running through her body. Let me read this real quick, because it's been a very long time since I've had to read this. Appears to be a very, very thin structure of tubing running alongside major arteries.
All that certainly would seem to indicate an artificial origin.
Some of the other things that he's picking up are just differential analysis, comparisons with expected norms that didn't quite mesh up. Nemo can kind of get a gist of the reason that he's pulling them aside is because her results are too good. After several hours, not several hours, about 2.5 hours, doesn't quite qualify as several, he looks perplexed and focused and motions her over to not table, a bed.
She'll go over.
Okay, I'm going to cut into your arm here. And
Can I ask why?
this is the test that you've asked us to perform. I don't want to cause any alarm. My bedside manner is a little bit better than that. I just want to
She's-
want to see what's inside of you.
She arches a brow at him and bitch faces back.
Nemo will sub-vocalize to her. He believes to have discovered evidence of a micro network supporting your veins. Something that could indicate an artificial origin.
God damn it, Matt. Oh wait, that's Mel. God damn it, Mel.
Matt.
Yeah,
Oh, that is kind of awesome.
I was like, what? Motherfucker, I didn't do anything. I mean, yeah, it's usually my fault, but not this time.
Fair enough.
But yes, he will sub-vocalize that to Captain. To Captain.
She will sit down on the bed and hold out her arm.
I'm going to need to strap you down. Just the one arm.
Can you numb the pain?
If you'd like that.
A local anesthetic would be appreciated.
Of course. And in this entire time, Rajuan is standing aside. He is, of course, strategically positioned so that if you start going berserk, he will be out that door before you can get to him.
Yeah.
You know, if he ever moves faster than you've ever seen him move, that is.
Oh, I imagine he can move fast if he wants to.
The doctor has Cap actually lay down instead of just sitting there.
Okay.
He does give a reasonable explanation that it helps him find what he's looking for, and it basically changes the way blood moves and body moves and all that.
Okay.
Straps her arm down. This seems to serve doubly as I can't think of what the words are called, but when they're taking your blood pressure.
Basically, it's stabilizing the arm.
Yeah. Pokes her with a needle, gets some local anesthetic going in there, and then takes out a laser scalpel and starts cutting her
She watches.
right along the most major artery going down that arm, most major vein. I'm not actually certain if there are arteries
Yes,
going
there are.
down that far. I thought so. 'Cause, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
how people kill themselves.
One goes to the heart, one goes from.
Yeah. So he is basically suicide cutting her. Except not across all of those veins. Just the one he's looking for.
Remember, kids, cut down the railroad tracks, not across.
Let's not do that.
Yeah,
Wait, are we offering suicide advice to our viewers now?
Is
no.
Is that what I did
we're
wrong?
not.
Yeah, arteries take blood away from the heart.
Yeah.
Veins go back.
Okay. You know what? I remember learning that at some point. And again, when I was writing this up, because of course I do all the research, and I always go back to they're all veins. Okay.
Well, they're all blood vessels.
They're all blood vessels. I still call them all veins. He prevents the overmuch bleeding. In fact, he seems precise enough that he hasn't actually cut the artery. He's very, very delicately cutting us alongside it. Sweat is beading from his brow, and at this point, Raduan does move away from his strategic position and assists him by wiping his brow.
He's not trying to kill her. He's trying very hard not to kill her.
He clamps her skin open, and you can still see, the little bit of blood trickling just because that's what blood does.
Nemo will, of course, watch the doctor very carefully during all of this.
Okay. He's not detecting anything untoward. And applies a misty aerosol, which further numbs the arm. Cap can no longer feel her arm at all anymore. Further numbs the arm and seems to slow up all the bleeding and more or less heal what he's done, except just not closing it because he has clamped the skin open. Brings over essentially a microscope, good God, a microscope device, and gets it situated. It's a view screen, it's not just looking straight through, so Nemo can see this also. He enhances or magnifies several times.
Damn it.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Perhaps hundreds or thousands, or I don't actually know just how small this would get. Probably on the order of many, many, many zeros of magnification. And with some very slight, tiny, minuscule adjustments, he is able to see on the screen a tube running along the artery that he cut along.
Can Cap see this as well?
She can't, not without moving around.
Oh, she's not gonna move around. That might make them nervous.
There are monitors in the room, so if she asked, they could probably put it up on a monitor.
Yeah, she wants to. She says, "I want to see this."
He gives a kind of concerned grimace, and Raduan goes over and makes the connection. She can see what is essentially a nanowire tube threading along the artery that he exposed. It is indescribably small, but he's obviously got some incredibly good medical tech here, and he magnifies even more, and you can see little things flowing through that tube. I mean, microscopic doesn't even qualify at this time. Yeah.
She will grimace a little at that. Can you tell me what that is?
He shakes his head. Raduan, on the other hand, that is not clear indication of you being a replicant, though it is very strong evidence. What you're seeing is a nanobots. Sorry, he doesn't use the nanobot term. Nanites, because it's so much more technical. Nanites. Their function is unknown. They're not doing anything at this time.
Could a sample not be isolated from her blood and further studied?
The doctor thinks about it. I don't think I have the expertise for that.
If they're present in her blood, shouldn't a simple blood sample also contain a few?
It's not in her blood.
No. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The nanowire tube is like a string. You know, not string. Let's go with something. A string of yarn next to a train that is her artery.
Okay. Ah, right. So they're not actually present in the blood itself. Okay.
Right. It's running along on the outside.
Right.
And maybe my scale is off about there, but you know.
No, I get it. That was my misunderstanding of it. Then Nemo
Okay.
wouldn't have suggested the blood thing.
Okay.
And yes, obviously that would be much harder to extract then.
Yeah.
Just for my out of character, is basic human enhancement a thing in this setting?
There is cyberware.
Mhm.
And it's more or less prevalent depending on the world, which means that as far as space goes, any any culture that can do cybernetics is probably a culture that can also get into space, unless there's some natural resource deficit.
Okay. So we're not at full Shadowrun cyber kids walking around, but
No.
it's certainly possible for people, if they want to crank the baseline human norm up a little bit, to get some stuff.
Yeah, and the cyberware in this system is it's oddly it's weird.
I hadn't looked at that part of the book.
There are some parts of it that are like super neat, and then some parts that are like, well, yeah, that makes total sense. And that's the thing about them, is that they make total sense. It's not like you get a +1 to your shoot.
Right.
The probably the most advanced of them is kind of what I'm describing here. A wire that threads through a person's body, but my understanding is it goes along nerves instead of blood, and it if they die, it will keep them moving and fighting.
Jesus Christ, that's horrifying.
Basically Revenant. In fact, I think it's actually called Revenant wiring.
Yep, Revenant wiring. Got even once the entire crew equipped.
Of
Yeah,
course
fuck
she
that
does.
noise.
A little misleading though. You don't actually you don't turn to dust if you successfully kill the person who killed you. You don't turn to dust.
I think that's probably just a D&D interpretation of a Revenant.
Yes.
Yep, different sort of Revenant.
That is a specific function of a revenant in D&D.
Yep.
Once it kills its murderer, it turns to dust itself.
So that's what he's looking at. And he starts to relay some of the information that Nemo has already told her. He's taking the clamps off and bringing out needle and thread to sew her back up. Just more technologically advanced needle and thread.
Would it
Basically,
at all
like a little laser beam.
Yeah.
Would it at all be possible, now that we know what to look for, to make a more make a simpler and more portable test to check for the presence of this Nana-Atlantis work and other people?
You need very, very specific medical tech. And Rajuan says, and very old medical tech.
Pre-tech.
So presumably you'd need even more specialized and even older technology to actually install it in the first place.
Very much so.
Also, if you were merely intending to create a disposable decoy, then it's highly unlikely that you would include something this advanced and this expensive.
Cap, this is Radwan speaking, as the doctor is putting her in place. It looks to me like you are a replicant. As the doctor has described, your vitals are perfect. There is no hint of scars or any tissue damage. And give me a moment here. And he says, and the oldest of your cells are barely over 4 years old.
She kind of pinches the bridge of her nose a little bit.
The doctor
With the
jumps
other
in and
hand.
says, that doesn't mean you're only 4 years old. It could just be a regenerative factor that your cell turnover is faster than humans. Well, faster than standard. And kind of on cue as he's saying that, and as Cap is feeling kind of pressured. Damn it. Go away. There we go. Where we go.
Just to say, Mike, if he was going to be gauging the age of cells, he would probably be picking either neurons or stem cells, because those are the only ones that don't subdivide.
Yeah, but he's not going there. That's a little bit more, in my opinion, that's a little bit more specialized than what he's trying to do here. That actually seems like I don't know, brain scientist.
Well, no, I just mean if you're trying to gauge the age of a body, pulling like blood cells or even skin cells or even tissue cells wouldn't get you much, because
I'm familiar.
They replace every 7 years normally.
Yep. Thus, this test was sufficient for him to at least identify that. But yeah, I'm familiar with that, Matt. I've watched Because Science. So Emma's got something in front of her.
Yes, she does.
And both Cap and Nemo are noticing that as he's talking about, the possibility of swifter cell regeneration, and he kind of goes into, if old and dying cells are cold quicker, and he hasn't actually started stitching her back up yet, but both Nemo and Cap are watching as she stitches herself back up. Her arm slowly closes once the separate flaps are put together, and in a matter of minutes, as they're watching, seals up without a scar.
Cap takes several deep breaths.
I believe we've identified at least one function of the nanite lattice.
Oh yes, the doctor.
Wait, wasn't Cap injured in the shootout back at Renalati?
Nope.
No, she hasn't been. She hasn't taken any hit point damage. I think.
She hasn't. I've been waiting for it.
I think only Clark has taken actual hit point damage.
Yep. Well.
And Nemo.
Well, yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say someone else got real hurt.
Yeah.
Nemo's taken bot point damage.
Yes. Captain, I just realized that during the gunfire exchange at that, well, scuffle at Randalarty, considering that Clark took substantial damage, he didn't exhibit any sort of accelerated healing features at all.
Do we know that for sure?
Oh yeah, he took several days.
Yeah, we
Whereas
patched him up in the med
Oh,
bay,
that's
but
right,
it wasn't.
that's right.
Yeah, we didn't get any kind of holy shit, you're healing really fast, dude.
Yeah, whereas
Yes.
you've
We
healed
definitely have noticed.
the equivalent
noticed
of 1 to 3 points of damage within minutes.
So, judging from that, that would
Oh.
seem to indicate that this condition is not universal among
Probably
the
1 hit point.
group.
Yeah, I would assume that wasn't like a very. It didn't need to be very big.
No, 3 hit points would have been a really bad doctor. 1 hit point would suffice. So, sorry I interrupted you, Mel. Go ahead.
No, I believe I just said that seems to indicate at least there is at least circumstantial evidence indicating that your condition, whatever it is not universal.
Raduan takes in a deep breath. I suppose it would be beneficial if more of your crew, if they want this battery of tests, for them to have that benefit. You may invite
I just
them
don't
if you
know
wish.
what this means.
It means that you were constructed.
She really doesn't look like she knows how to feel about that. Like there's just kind of a
Cap.exe stopped
vacant
responding.
look. Yeah, Captain.exe stop responding. I will ask them if they wish it as well.
You should get dressed.
She nods and goes and puts her clothes back on. Kind of like almost on autopilot.
And
A little bit.
Presumably, a future test for this particular nanite lattice work would be a fairly simple procedure.
It would be a what?
A fairly simple procedure.
We would still need to have better medical facilities than we have on our ship, I believe.
What I was alluding to, Captain, was that merely drawing blood from someone should immediately identify the presence of this of a network like yours.
How do you mean?
If we were to cut dude and he did not heal up immediately, he is not in possession of a nanite, of healing nanites.
Point taken. That would be
However, I would
relatively
still very
simple,
much-
a thumb prick or nothing that causes severe damage.
Presumably yes, but I would still recommend that more thorough testing be conducted on all of the crew members,
If they wish it.
of course.
I'm not going to force anybody to do this.
And Radwan actually looks at Nemo. Well, would you like to start with yourself?
They don't realize he's not
Yeah.
human.
Nope, they don't.
Nope.
I don't believe that would be necessary, though. I thank you for your offer. I am secure, and I am securely resting in the mystery of my condition.
Radwan accepts that and nods. music timing.
Yep.
Would you like me to open communication with the ship and ask them if they wish to have this procedure? Have this procedure? They wish to undertake this procedure.
I believe you will find that difficult this deep into Monin structure.
I'll try. Testing to dude.
Yeah, there's some interference.
So dude doesn't hear anything?
Dude did not hear anything.
I think it would be better if I asked them in person. Though I would request that I be allowed to accompany any of my crew that wishes to have this done.
Of course.
But you would be willing to perform this test on the rest of the crew if they desire. One moment.
I'll wait until he leaves to answer. Yes. Oh, this lack of a heater thing is killing me. Or lack of a air conditioner is killing me.
Yeah.
It's quite warm in here and I don't want to leave the thing running because it's kind of loud. You guys may not hear it, but
I
can
didn't
see
hear.
No, I think Discord is not picking it up, but my microphone is, because when it's running, I can just see a steady level of noise on the mic. Streamlabs gives me basically a bar that I can, bars so that I can monitor all the sound and everything. So yeah, it is louder than ambient noise.
Yeah. Our central air is dead for the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is pretty hot out here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hooray, California. Mel, you back? Oh, I thought I heard him come back.
No, that was me getting up.
Well, I don't see that conversation going too much further, so let's continue on.
Yep. So, Cap will look at Rajuan and say, so what does this mean for us? As in, like, the relationship.
Well,
Or if you need time to think about it, we can discuss it later. There are a few things I'd like to discuss with you in private also.
we may. I'll leave you with this, however. Our agreement stands.
She nods.
Sorry about that. Back again now.
He confirmed that he'd be willing to do the same procedure for the rest of the crew. He does seem to be thinking about... He does seem to be mulling that over, pondering, as it were. It seems shallow for me to say that I have much to think on.
I think we both do.
I hope you find solace in knowing your existence.
I hope I do too.
If it's of any comfort to you, the porcelain that you were, or the porcelain that you were made from, or that came before you, whatever it turns out to be, was a desperate and angry young woman. She did not know where to turn that anger, except against the corporations, sparing no innocence in her anger's path.
You sound like you were quite familiar with her.
We have had tenuous dealings.
That thing we didn't discuss last time.
Not so much that. We can discuss that openly now, I believe.
I would appreciate it.
That was simply your, acts of terrorism. I say desperate because she did not like being reminded. It made her volatile and unpredictable as well, so it was to my benefit to allow that to be a restricted conversation.
Understandable. I do not want to be her.
If you are indeed a replicant copy of her, it would be quite easy for someone with the tech to implant neural responses and muscle memory maps.
Giving me the innate abilities that I seem to have.
Yes. And some semblance of memories. Should you ever encounter a young lady who goes by the name Chase in your travels, be sympathetic to her.
I take it Porcelain wasn't very nice to her.
I don't know if they've ever had contact. I only know of Chase.
Cap will nod a little bit. If I come across her, I will do my best to be as sympathetic as I can be.
Anything else you guys want to talk about with the doctors or doctor and or Rajuan, or is there pondering to be done?
I think there's a little bit of pondering to be done.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move the scene a bit then.
Yeah.
You guys are escorted back out the same way you came in. And Nemo, once you're outside and a little way away from the building, you're not being escorted by the mechs this time.
That's a sign of trust.
You can contact the ship again.
He'll just transmit to Dude. We are returning to the ship now. The captain has something important she'd like to talk to all of you about face to face.
And I do want to clarify as a GM, it's not quantum ECM that was blocking communication, because that would seem like a really silly thing to me, considering how prevalent and how everywhere it is in, high-end military stuff. That was just regular signal blocking.
I was gonna say they actually block a particular wireless carrier where I work,
Yeah.
or anything that's not an iPhone. Apparently,
Yeah, that's funny.
I can connect to the. We have a guest network
Mm-hmm.
for interwebs, but if I get past the lobby,
Mm-hmm.
I have no cell phone signal.
Interesting.
But people who have iPhones can get one.
God damn it, Apple.
On the same carrier? Weird.
But I'm assuming. At least I think they have the same one I do. Also, or it may be non-work phones, like non-company issued phones. I don't know. I know that like we have our on-call phone,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an iPhone, and it gets a signal in the building.
They might be allowing calling over Wi-Fi,
Well, let's
depending on the
No.
carrier.
let's get back to game here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but
So-
yeah, that technology to block specific wireless signals or
Oh,
cell
yeah.
phone signals
Mhm.
does work. It exists now.
Yeah. And I'm just going with the mountain ranges. May not be what's in effect here, but I know that all of these wireless or communication signals can be blocked, and that seems like that's all that was preventing Nemo from communicating out, is just something blocking the signals.
Mhm.
All right, you guys return to the ship with Nemo announcing that Cap has something that she wants to talk to the crew about. Are you assembling?
Deja vu.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
You're assembling at the bridge or in Cap's office? Where do you want to assemble?
Cap's office.
Okay. You all meet in the bridge, in the Jesus. You all meet in Cap's office. The elevator clearly took you where you didn't want to go. Okay.
But did anyone have deep personal conversations in the elevator?
No, that only happens in the first. Oh wait, this is the first season.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's not the Citadel.
No, I think there's just a lot of pondering going on.
Yep.
Man, I do miss those conversations though.
Cap really doesn't say anything. As they're walking back.
Nemo is perfectly fine with leaving her to think. Just observing her.
All right, you reach Cap's office. Unless somebody says otherwise, everyone is there.
Dude would have headed in.
She sits down at her desk and pours herself a drink, a big drink.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah, that's not the kind of drink a happy person pours themselves, Cap.
You celebrating?
Well, I think they trust us more. They left the mechanized escort behind.
Ooh, so you're a real human being?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's a kick in the nuts.
She drinks about half of the glass. Sets it down.
What did they say?
Apparently, I have a nanite network running through my body. And all of my innate knowledge could have been implanted.
Huh. Is that? I mean, do you just kind of randomly have a nanite network in you, or is it doing something?
She reaches inside her desk and takes out a knife. And not her veins, but the back of her arm. She takes the knife and she cuts herself.
Are we doing Terminator 2 here now?
No, she's not showing you her metal bits.
She's not
No.
she's not degloving her hand.
No, God, no. She's just basically slicing open her arm a little bit and holding it out. Not very long, just not even as long as what the doctor did.
Okay.
And holds her arm out.
You can see that it is starting to repair itself.
That's neat.
Well, shit.
That's fucked up.
I mean, it certainly is handy for the line of work that we find ourselves in.
Right? That's good news for once.
Hey, Clark, dude, too.
I don't know. I did get better from those bullet wounds pretty quick.
I wouldn't say so. You were out of commission for a while, man.
Just a few days.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Have you got scars?
Do I have scars?
For whatever whatever scarring would normally be there for the injuries that Clark took, he has. They are diminished, but you also had very good medical treatment.
Maybe Clark isn't working right?
So here's a GM question. At some point in the several weeks that dude has been farting around and fixing shit and all that kind of stuff, anybody doing any kind of mechanical work will have fucking cut themselves just at various points in time.
Mm-hmm.
Has he ever nicked himself, dinged himself, scratched himself, and has it ever healed in the way that he's seen the caps?
I think the assumption is valid, and no, he has not seen. He's not been able to visibly see, although slowly, very slowly. It'll take about the course of an hour to heal this, but that's still quick enough to visibly see that damage being repaired.
Right. It's like being able to watch a plant grow, even if it's growing slowly. The fact that you can see it means that it's growing way faster than normal.
Yes.
So we're being able to see the physical, even if it's going to take a while, means that it's going way quicker. So he's never seen that on himself.
He is not.
All right. He kind of. Well. I mean, not to pour a bucket of water on you while it's raining, but I've dinged the shit out of myself while I've been working, and I've never seen what's going on with you on myself.
And we could just go to the med bay and I can run some tests.
I think the Modens have offered to test everyone.
Now, here's a question. Who the hell would know? Nemo.
Yes.
The thing that Cap's gotten her that's closing that wound up in a not not creepy way.
And she looks at dude and says, "No, it's totally creepy."
Good save there, dude. Good save.
You don't have to be a replicant to have that shit, do you? Like you could just get
No,
that.
it is not proven itself. It could absolutely be implanted into a natural organic human being with considerable expense and effort. However, there were also other corroborating factors, namely the captain's physical health and biological state, which were
Literally perfect.
yes,
Ah,
exactly. Um,
well, all right then.
Oh, I know, nice and well with the moments, but let me take a look, especially if they are nanites, and if they suspect something they have been programmed. Let me
Might
take
be
a
able
look.
to run a trace on the programming.
Yeah? I mean, I mess with the forces of the fundamental universe. This is small scale.
it
I don't know that I would brag
is
about that, but you know, whatever.
any further and more complicated testing on this would likely require exceedingly complicated equipment. We're dealing with some substantially and incredibly advanced pre-screen technology.
Yes, as opposed to the stuff that's even more sophisticated.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what, Cap? You could put on
It
your
can't hurt.
if you are in as perfect physical condition as it sounds like, well, you could put that on your business card. Practically perfect in every way.
That's not an in character laugh.
I didn't think it would be.
We could make it a catchphrase. Sticks and stones break my bones, but nanites heal me?
But nanites will always heal me.
It's of course an individual choice for each of you, but for what it's worth, I would recommend taking the Monans up on their offers. They have very advanced technology and the capacity to use it.
I don't know that I care too much for myself, but I mean, I think I'd at least like. I mean, it'd be nice to know if there's another, one of me running around with this, ugly mug. Just so I don't get surprised at a bar sometime when somebody says, "Hey, you're gonna pay your tab," and I'm like, "Man, what the fuck are you talking about?" Although not having my memories means that could happen anyway. Man,
Yeah, I
damn it,
was gonna say.
I'm gonna have to start buying my alcohol in bulk rather than in bars. I
But
never
maybe
even
you had
thought
that
of that.
idea.
That's a real
No.
goddamn disadvantage to this whole not having memories thing, man. I don't know what debts I owe. Somebody could just bullshit money out of me.
You owe me some money.
You wouldn't know
Actually,
if I
remember.
did.
Actually, remember it. It was just like yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Also, imagine you had that idea of buying in bulk before, and you've never paid the supplier.
See, now I am motivated to find out our memory. I didn't really give much of a shit before, but I don't like people hustling me out of money.
It may be possible for them to help recover our memories.
If we've got our memories. I mean, if we're replicants, we
Um,
wouldn't have the memories to begin with.
I mean, right? But even if we did, I mean, if I'm not that person,
I think we're getting into philosophical areas. That's left
Yeah.
to people
All
with
I'm saying,
more
let me
time and
let me take a
less.
look in the map bay. Not to mention, who would you rather find out? Them or me?
Is that a
I
trick
mean, you're right
question?
about that.
Do you want me to answer that? Because you might not get the answer you like.
Would rather have the answer?
Yeah, well, you haven't screwed us over yet.
The Monans have sophisticated enough technology. I mean, it takes a while, but I'm not going to force any of you to do it, and if you go, I'm going with you.
Fair enough. Well,
We might want to leave it as it is, or try to do something here, but if you aren't like me, and it appears as if at least Clark and Dude aren't, that opens up a whole nother can of worms. And I don't know
Yeah.
that we want to go there.
plus, I mean, I'd feel a little ripped off if I turned out to be a replicant, but didn't get like the high-end model like you did. It'd be like being best friends with somebody and we both got the same birthday, and then we come outside and find out that your dad got you a way better vehicle than my dad got mine.
Well, I mean, she would have been the captain of the previous crew, so she probably got a lot of better stuff.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a rational feeling. That feeling ripped off usually ain't. And I would,
Rajuan, sorry, go ahead.
and I certainly don't begrudge the cap having. I mean, it's nice knowing that if you get shot, it ain't going to be as big of a deal as if, well, this meathead gets shot.
As far as I know, this is healing's what it does. As far as anything else, well, I guess we'll. I hope I never have to find out.
Ain't that the truth?
Rajuan gave me some insight into Porcelain, and she was a
Shit.
very angry and troubled woman. And whatever happened, she was after the corporations for some reason.
Well, I get the impression that I was too. I mean, you'd have to be pretty pissed off at the company to blow up 27 buildings at the same time.
And kill lots of innocents.
Yeah, it doesn't exactly say people person, does it?
Yeah.
Unless you count dead people.
To be fair, there are multiple other possible motivations other than simple anger for such acts.
Revenge.
Money.
I think sociopathy.
Oh, lovely.
Now that my impression of that shit is that's a mental instability, which means that if we got cloned or if we got our memories wiped, that should have carried on over. You'd think we'd notice if we were sociopaths. I mean, I like to think I'd notice.
Nemo will just smile mysteriously at that.
Nemo's not an android, he's an asteroid.
Yeah. But we knew that already.
What's the? You're not wrong. You're just an asshole. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna think on options, and there's a few more things to finish up in the cargo bay with some of that shit. Cap, you know where to find me for drinks and advice if you want.
She nods and I appreciate that.
No problem as always. I'll let you know if I come to a decision about letting them take a
Poke at
peek
you?
inside me. Yeah. Ugh. See, that's the big problem with not having memories and trying to figure out your own goddamn personality is I don't know if I'm a private person or not.
Be more social, see if you like it.
I am social. With you motherfuckers.
Well, there's your answer.
Yeah, but maybe I know you really well and that feeling's carried over.
Now you're making it weird.
Because it didn't start weird.
No?
All this shit is weird.
Granted, we are flying through space on a fucking spaceship. I think our barometer is set a little off. But yeah. I'm gonna go get my hands dirty. Maybe that'll clear my head.
Do any of you have any other questions for me?
Not right now. You know I'll ask if I think of any.
Oh.
Cap nods.
Oh, and hey, Clark, let me know next time you're going down to the shooting range. I might want to blow up a couple of things.
Oh, question. Where's
Yeah.
our money?
I imagine it will be coming.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were like, we can make this offer, but we can't properly authorize it without Raju. He ain't. Since he was with you, you'd think he'd know.
There were some trust issues to resolve there, I believe,
Oh, well,
before he authorized it.
fair enough.
Didn't seem to have any trouble taking the goods, though.
Of course not.
And then they did start handing us over chunks of at least the physical stuff. So I don't think we were at the we don't trust you at all. I think we were at the we just need to make sure. At least I hope so. We'll feel real stupid about this whole conversation if we get blown up tomorrow.
I don't think that they would have let us leave.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You wouldn't feel stupid, you'd be blown up.
Yeah, well, that's comfort.
You saw what escorted us into the building.
Yeah, that was surprising.
A safety precaution that probably, given what Rajuan told me about porcelain, not unreasonable.
Well, yeah, it does at least give a little bit of a hope and indication that they might have access to a bit more high tech than they were letting us know about beforehand. Would dearly love at least one more piece of pre-tech components, because I mean, well, this ship is beat to hell.
Sure, if
Well,
we wanted.
before we left, Rajuan said that our agreement stands, so...
That's good.
Yeah.
Where do we sign up for this? Testing? Is there a sheet? Is there light we flash?
I'll contact Rajuan and let him know. Do you want it?
I'd like to know if I'm impervious to bullets.
I don't think I'm impervious to bullets.
I'd like to think so.
She'll smile a little bit at that.
I think the what would you be is you're not impervious to bullets, you're impervious to bullet wounds. Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, considering the speed
Pump me
that
full of lead and...
you know, well, I ain't testing that shit. I gotta
No.
figure though that considering the speed that was working at, I think a headshot would still probably take you out.
It is still technically healing itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still working on that little cut that she made.
Well, before I spend all the time looking for myself, I'd rather know.
Cap will nod. If nothing else, we get a good physical out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, and it's completely obvious that's not the reason Colleen wants to do this.
While I'm thinking of it, Mike, I was looking at the ship status. Should we have marked that 50K off of the parts charge for one of those phase charge cannons?
I believe I did that for you also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
No,
sitting at
that's
500.
yeah,
Let's
it's not
see.
the same.
We were at 110.
We may be talking about different things. What are you talking about, Matt?
On
The
ship
repairs.
status.
Yeah, the repairs we were making to one of the phase charge cannons.
Mm-hmm.
Should the scrap we were spending have been getting taken off of the
It did.
You're talking about on ship status handout, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's an auto-generated one, and that cost there is simply a formula based on the base cost of the item. So
Gotcha.
it's not going to go down, or otherwise it'll screw up my formula.
Okay.
As long
I
as
just thought it was a
you're
regular handout.
marking how much has gone towards different projects, then it's fine.
Yeah, because we took 50,000 out of our ship inventory.
Yeah. And, well, that should probably be... How about somebody write down that, I totally thought that I did, actually, but apparently not. Yeah, if somebody wants to write on the player notes or ship inventory
Yeah.
and make a marking of
Well-
how much progress towards that cannon.
It was 50,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all we
It
put
was
through
the
so far.
phase charge cannon.
Yeah, just one of them.
All right, I put a little note below it that says 50K towards phase charge cannon.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah, no. Dude'll, well, I'll let you know when he heads back down to the cargo bay to finish up at least loading for the day.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah, before everybody leaves, she'll say, "Just don't mention this to our other crew members."
Well, I mean, they don't know us from Adam, so, there's no reason to give them this information.
So I heard a few things that characters wanted to do. Is Colleen going to try anything in the med bay?
I'll opt for it if she's offering. I still don't quite trust the other people as much.
Okay.
Yep. In fact, as you would dissect, clock. Analyze. Examine.
Okay. Is she just are the two of them going and just trying to suss out what they found? Or not suss out what they found, but trying to find what has been described to them?
Yes. She would basically do the full analysis down to the DNA to kind of see was he, let's say, constructed, cell age, things like that. Basically going off what Cap described.
Okay. All right.
And Cap will be thinking some things over while I AFK for a moment.
Okay. I will do Colleen and Clark at the med bay.
With the lead pipe.
No, that's in the med bay, not at the med bay. Difference
Yeah,
in
and
phrase.
you said the bioscanner, basically the equipment we have is the equivalent of a bioscanner.
The equipment you have on the ship is better than a bioscanner.
Okay. Because she
The
would
the
have
bioscanner
back that
is
or fighting.
basically just it trades stuff for mobility.
Okay, that's. I just wanted to check. Basically, she would use the best there is. So if the med bay is better equipped, she would use that.
Yeah, yeah. The med bay is essentially a fully functioning workshop for medical stuff, whereas the bioscanner is your field package.
All
Field
right, in that
equipment.
case, I want to build a new Clark.
Well, Nemo's cloning material has not come in yet, so you have to wait. Well, this would be doing it herself. It will have to be a heal check,
That's fine.
and this is obviously int only. So go ahead and roll.
Which is also fine.
Yeah, I figured that.
There's a reason she raised heal. I mean, you need heal 0 just to use a bioscanner.
Right. Colleen spends several hours with Clark running a battery of scans, and um, everything that she's doing, based on what was relayed as having been done to Cap, comes out baseline. You know, he's above average in some regards, below average in some regards, but never by more than is expected for any human.
I feel like just for comedic effect, I should ask where he's below average.
I'm not a bioscientist, so I will just say yes.
But it's, in all fairness, she's mostly professional through that. It's just the constant hand rubbing seems to be a little bit off-putting.
Now I have to check my Discord and see if there are any secret messages.
No. But she's taking samples, but she lets him know, and if he doesn't understand basically some of the results, she'd explain it.
Yeah, some of this, in fact, maybe not quite a lot of it, but well, yeah, still quite a lot of it. She does have heal 0 only, so quite a lot of what she's doing is just unknown to her. She doesn't really know. She's going through motions and getting results, but isn't able to interpret those as clearly and easily as she can picking code out of transmissions.
Well, no, recoding DNA comes later. But no nanites or anything like that.
None that she can find.
What does a cell age say?
It's baseline. Depending on the cells, around about 7 years.
Even the things like the stem cells, things like that?
She's not advanced enough to really know where to get that without risking serious injury.
Okay, because I feel they should be able to basically use the entire thing, including DNA sequencing.
Yeah, her heal skill is heal 0.
Okay, that's what I'm checking, because
Yeah.
that's what's required to basically use that thing to its full.
Right, and I
That's why
understand what you're
that's why I'm
doing.
checking. Okay.
It's just that her heal skill is limiting what she can actually comprehend beyond what this bioscanner should be doing, or beyond what the ship medbay would be doing. Asking it
Okay.
to age the cells or determine the age of cells is not one of your standard procedures. and so she'd have to be relying more on her own knowledge than on what the medbay can do.
Okay. Well, congratulations, you're 7 years old.
You spoke really fast there.
Congratulations, you're 7 years old. Happy birthday.
Okay. Well. Huh. So I'm guessing that means I was cloned 7 years ago, right?
Honestly, I don't think so. But I can't be entirely sure.
If
But you don't have nanites?
if Colleen has discussed or talked through anything about the cellular turnover rate, Clark is intelligent enough that he could understand that if you want him to, Jeff.
Right.
As such, he would have explained what she's doing and basically what the readouts are.
That's just good bedside manner.
Sorry, one moment.
Okay. You guys can continue.
I don't know. Either we were kept in a breaking case of emergency cage for some 6 and something years, or we actually are missing some 6 or something years worth of memory.
Well, but at least it nukes the whole theory of that it's just programmed nanites. You don't have any. So, whatever you do when you fly, it's not based on that. On the other hand, don't get shot. Again,
Well, that's always a bit of a goal.
yes, reach for the stars.
Alright. Anything else between the two?
Nah, she would just send a gentle. Oh, no, she wouldn't make a gentle press. But just let Clark know. Hey, anytime you want to come to the med bay, we got fun stuff.
I need to practice.
Implied, not said.
That that bit of work there took about 6 hours. Your day is over.
Well, in that case, Connie would return to her quarters and Clark's inbox goes up by 1.
You mean dudes?
Oh yeah, right, dudes.
Alright.
Oh, Clark's too, but as I thank you for visiting your local med bay. I hope you enjoyed your stay. Come again.
Thank you. Come again.
We care because we care.
Alright, dude, Cap, you doing anything? You've got about 6 hours before it's time to start packing it in.
For the night, or Cap is gonna go down to the gun range.
Okay. Dude?
She will let Ooh, Kitty, don't step on the power button.
Yes, Kitty, please don't step on the power button.
Unfortunately, it's in a place that he likes to walk right over. She will send a message to Dude and let him know where she is.
Well, has he had enough time to? I mean, has most of the loading been completed in cargo bay and shifted away?
Mel, whatever you're doing, we can hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, the load into the cargo bay was done before Cap even returned.
Okay.
I mean, it was only, what, 10 tons? Was it about 10 tons? Yeah, it was only 10 tons.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Yeah, with decent heavy machinery and whatnot.
Right.
Which we've got, and so do the Monans.
Hmm.
We are still in creepy music.
You are.
Hey, at least Colleen didn't program flickering red lights into the med bay. All of this was happening.
The occasional violin sting. Yeah. Now, if Cap's going down to the gun range, dude was planning on going at some point anyway, so he would head down as well. Fire off a few rounds, keep in practice.
Alright. Cap and dude at the gun range.
Felt like putting some holes in a couple of things.
Kind of helps me focus.
Yeah, I get that. I was mostly coming on down here with Clark just to, you know, something to do, but it does focus
Sorry about
the
that.
mind.
I'm back again now.
Yeah, we heard
Yeah.
whatever you were doing.
I know. I was muting it.
Please do in the future.
Couldn't you just mute me?
I could, but I would prefer not to. Is it difficult for you to mute yourself?
It's more effort for me than it is for you to do it.
No, not really. You just have to tab into Discord and hit the little mute button by your picture at the bottom left.
Yeah, the main problem with me muting you is that you then have to send a message on text to let me know that you need to be unmuted, and I don't see those always right away. So leaving the control with you is preferable to me.
Well, yeah, no. Dude would be. I mean, yeah, it does help focus. Nice to not think about things other than just, you know, putting some lead downrange.
And all of this really. I'm happy I am, but I'm not happy. Does that make any sense?
Kinda. I mean, like I was saying, I think I would probably be okay finding out if I was a replicant, because it means that I'm not responsible for any of the shit that went on before I came into being.
I don't even know how long I've existed, though.
I reckon about 7 years. Unless you're probably made first, so probably more than 7 years, but probably not too much more, you know.
Certainly not more than 4.
Huh?
At least according to their medical scans.
Now,
Huh.
well, now here's another interesting question. What's your birthday now?
More like a maid
I
day.
didn't know it before. She gives Clark a dirty look.
Well, wait. I mean, so, well, now GM out of character, was in the information we were able to get from some of the downloads were birth dates in any of that shit?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
The wanted poster doesn't care what your birth date is.
Right. Well, I mean, we didn't know before, but now if we do find out what Portia Lynn's birthday is, we still ain't gonna know what your birthday is.
Does it really matter?
Yeah, I suppose not. I mean, I could just bake you a cake at any time, but, it'd be nice to know proper and shit.
You want to bake me a cake?
Well, that's what you do
She
on
actually,
birthdays.
she actually sounds really amused.
Well, I mean, everybody should get a cake on their birthday.
I think that's about the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a while.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, to be fair, that ain't a high bar to clear because we ain't been around for that long. Thank you.
We could always just make our birthdays the day we woke up.
That's true. Well, then we'd all be celebrating the same day. Having a big old party.
Nothing wrong with that. Use a reason to celebrate something.
Hey. Any day you're alive is still a good day.
You don't feel this makes me any less your captain, do you?
Well, shit, no. Why would that have to do with anything?
I'm
You are
slightly
still.
curious. I'm slightly curious to know that too.
I mean, you
Why
are.
it makes a difference?
I mean, you're exactly the same person you were when we became aware of each other. So, yeah, we didn't pick you captain because you happened to have been captain before. We figured we picked you captain because you seemed the best suited to it. Still are. So, not like your qualifications have changed any. I sure as shit don't want to be captain.
I can't blame you there. It's just a really weird feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now I have even less idea of where I came from.
I mean, it just throws one more weird ass mystery on top of a pile of more weird ass mysteries.
Probably things we won't get the answer to anytime soon.
Speaking from personal experience, I can say that being manufactured isn't all that bad.
So Nemo's down at the gun range also?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's congregated at the gun range. Yay!
Nope.
Yeah.
Except
I
for
was gonna say
Colleen.
Colleen ain't. Yeah.
Nobody invited Colleen. Technically, if this happens during those 6 hours, Clark is being experimented on.
It would have, but since I didn't want to exclude anyone, we'll say that this has kind of gone into. This has kind of gone later than Colin and Clark were occupied. And so everybody can be present here. If they
gonna
get
say.
an invited or feel like they don't need one.
That, and she
Well.
probably didn't need him for the 6 hours. Basically, after the tests are done, she would analyze everything.
Yeah, I
So.
was thinking the same thing too. So yeah, at least Clark, Dude, Nemo, and Cap are all at the gun range.
All right.
Colleen can be invited if she wants.
But she wouldn't go there by herself. Someone is actually calling her and asking her, then sure. But otherwise, no.
I don't think the dude would have even thought that she would want to go, so he definitely.
Hmm.
Creepy space music.
Creepy space events.
Oh dear.
However, if the conversation has died down, I shall
don't
certainly
think
move
so.
on. Okay. It has been a week. It's actually been 8 days since last puzzle box check, so I should get one of those from Clark and Colleen just for ongoing progress, not because they've sat down and specifically started fiddling with it right now, just ongoing.
Whenever
Okay.
it's time to fiddle, Colleen would.
So both of you go ahead and make your intelligence checks. Let me find the page where I've got this marked down.
It was just a straight intelligence check, right?
Correct.
Wait,
9, not bad.
wait, it was. Oh, it was 2d6, not d20. Sorry. Whoops. Give me a second.
Okay.
For some reason, I like the d20 roll more.
Both your boxes remain elusive.
I was gonna say that's not a
with the
skill check,
9?
is it?
Yeah, it is a high check still. However, um, having fiddled with it so much, you guys may as well just add a puzzle box skill to your character sheet, because you now both have a +1 to it.
Okay.
And that way you can also just click it.
On the assumption that fucking around with this thing long enough will eventually get you better at.
Well, they're making progress, even if they haven't hit the target difficulty. They're still making little bits of progress and seeing little bits of patterns.
Right.
I wouldn't be giving this boon to anyone that didn't have at least a +1 from their intelligence. But they're both very intelligent, so
Yeah. Makes sense.
How
if they're
can I
fiddling
add a
with it,
skill? Oh, I see. Extra checkbox.
yeah. So if they're fiddling
Homebrew
with it,
options.
then they should be able to make some at least mental progress on it. If they leave it sit for a while, you're gonna lose a skill. Let's see.
I don't see where to add extra skill.
You have to, on the top, when you edit everything, you have to click the box under homebrew options. That allows you to add skill before you can even do it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a note in my miscellaneous somewhere.
But you've already got a puzzle box skill.
Oh.
I don't know why I
Well,
didn't
thank
think.
you then.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of telling you to add that as a skill with a 0 modifier way back at the beginning.
Let's say, if we consider that, can I use expert on it?
Nope. It is still not actually a skill check.
Okay.
Nice try, though. It's almost like the GM put in a slow burn mystery.
Weird.
Yeah.
Almost.
I don't know. I don't know any GMs that would do that shit though.
It seems really uncommon, especially in a game like this. Oops.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Throw these in there. Catch that check eventually. Alright. So, night passes. We got +1 day at about 11:15, so 2 hours later. And, were any of you going to take up Rajuan on the medical scans offer?
Colleen was.
Okay, Colleen? Clark?
Nope.
Dude?
Well, is the possibility of recovering memories predicated on getting the medical scan?
They haven't actually mentioned anything
Offered
about
that.
that, yeah.
Right. Cap has, but right.
She said it may be a possibility.
Right. Yeah, he'll go down. He doesn't really care, but it's more information, and he'll take it or leave it as he feels fit.
Okay. Nemo, are you sure you don't want to...
Yes, quite sure.
Okay. Once again, you do not get the mech escort. However, once you've... You do get...
But Nemo will be observing the testing of all of them.
Okay.
I don't know how many people they'll allow to come.
I was just thinking about that. So we got Dude, Colleen, Nemo, and Cap.
And Cap would not let Nemo watch Colleen.
Yep, Colleen flat out asked for privacy anyhow.
Oh, she's not going to get it from Cap.
Okay.
That is the condition.
Okay, so Rajuan takes a minute to figure out the logistics and determines the easiest way to accommodate this is also probably the safest and most secure, but leaves you guys exposed to Monans and Monans exposed to you for the longest consecutive amount of time, even if not with the same people. He weighs all this and decides that it is acceptable to take Colleen and Cap, leaving Nemo and Dude in the kind of secured hangar area with the mech suits. Or not mech suits, but with the mechs.
Mm-hmm.
And there are Monans in armor with those high-tech looking weapons. Present, but not actively aiming at you guys.
They're standing guard.
And Rajuan kind of almost jovially says, "Please don't touch anything." Takes Colleen and Cap to the medical facility. and same doctor, same assistant.
Poor guy.
Actually, no. I take that back because this was kind of pre-organized, so it is just the doctor. They had a little bit more time to prepare this time. So it's just Rajuan, the doctor, Cap, and Colleen. And the doctor asks if you want the same full spectrum of tests as Cap was given yesterday.
Yes.
Alright. Yeah, has her strip and stand at the sensors.
Hence why Nemo wasn't allowed.
Because Nemo is male? Really isn't.
um, Goes through the scans, but does not, when he's done with them, does not ask Colleen to step up on the bed. Just tells her that she may get dressed.
Ivana Colleen was paying hyper attention to the whole procedure.
She can't really see much from where she's at. She is actually in basically a corner of the room where his equipment is, well, it's here, it's there, it's all over the place, but it's all designed so that he can be looking at it while looking at the thing being scanned.
Well, she's also paying attention to the equipment.
Okay.
And then she's gonna ask, so, results?
He tells her that she is perfectly normal.
I knew that.
Cap gives
H?
Colleen a look.
No anomalous readings. Cellular turnover is at human norm of about 7 years.
Can you tell how old she is?
You know, aside from the actual stem cell, I don't think there is a way to tell how old somebody is there?
Yeah,
Stem
there
cells
is.
and neurons. Those. I mean, there's
That's
ways
what
to
I'm talking
gauge.
about. Without
Yeah.
doing that.
There are other ways that are not as precise, but there are certain bones,
Yeah, bone development.
certain bone development that you can check.
Bone density.
Isn't that still variable though from person to person? Like,
There's sort of generalized rules. It's when they do like body forensics and stuff like that from digging up corpses. They give a range, and it's usually within a
Yeah.
couple of years of what they figure.
yeah,
I
but
think I
the
have
ranges
some-
they give are
something
usually
here.
within 5 to 10 year ranges, aren't they?
I think like 2 to 3 year ranges, but I haven't really looked at corpse forensics.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that much more precise dating of anything can be done once it's no longer living, and
Oh yeah.
once its cells are no longer dying and being replaced. And yeah, that's actually what we were referring to there, Jeff. Is apparently
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah. And it's kind of an interesting metaphysical conversation of if all of your cells turn over every 7 years.
Yeah, it's a chip of Theseus or whatever it's called thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't think your brain cells do that, so it's kind of moot.
I hadn't actually been hearing too much about them not, although I don't know. I'm not a neuroscientist, so, or geneticist, I'm just kind of going with what little research I can do in between.
Hmm.
From what I can gather, just looking at the net quickly, the current technology we have now can estimate a margin of plus minus 5 years.
That's exactly what I thought it was. And I don't really see a way for advanced technology to narrow that down, because the reason for that margin is that people are different.
Yes, but within a margin of errors of plus minus 5 years.
Yeah. So, well, the doctor gives kind of a glib response, getting back on track here, of, well, I'd say you're a 17-year-old girl. Maybe 16. Kind of short.
Short.
He just kind of chuckles.
So, what other procedures are possible here?
How do you mean?
Well, can you do comprehensive analysis of brain activity? Memory loss, body enhancements, that sort of thing?
Well,
Set kind of short.
our neurotech is not nearly as good as our other medical tech here. We might be able to think up some procedures or wrangle up something if you tell me what you're trying to do.
Well, part of the reason I'm so short is I might have gotten hit on the head. I'm looking for lost time, things like that. Things I don't remember.
He thinks for a minute.
That and maybe some electronic enhancement.
We don't have any prosthesis or cyberware here.
Could you detect it if someone had that?
Oh, yes, easily.
Your scans would have shown that.
Yeah.
Out of character. If they wanted to find out how old Colleen was to within a year, they could take one of her teeth and crush it and do radiocarbon dating on it.
There
You
you
can always
go.
get a
You have
replacement implant.
wisdom teeth to extract.
There you go. How badly do you want to know exactly how old Colleen is to within
Yep.
a year?
Not that badly.
They could cut her in half and count the rings.
God.
I don't suppose she has a wisdom tooth to spare.
There's a good question. Does she have her wisdom teeth? I think being 16, 17 years old is accurate enough.
I mean, in all fairness, I myself actually had some basically supernumerous teeth.
Yeah, I still have wisdom teeth, so.
No, not wisdom teeth, but my teeth actually had like one or two extras.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
gotcha.
gonna say extra teeth.
Supernumerous, so gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, no, just as an aside, I still have wisdom teeth that if if I wanted to risk it damaging the nerves of my jaw, I could have it
Might as-
extracted.
was
Yep,
gonna say,
I
might
had
as
the
well,
same
Mike.
thing,
They're not
yeah.
working.
It would.
Do you want me to smack him?
Yeah, but later, not on stream, please. I don't want to be promoting domestic violence.
That, and I think sexual content is against the TOS anyway.
Yeah.
Oh God. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He He says that he could try and use the equipment that they have here for that, but you'd be much, much better off finding a specialist with specialist equipment.
Does he know a specialist? Could I have a referral?
He does not actually.
Probably hasn't really had much contact with the outside world.
Well, he might keep up professionally as a medical journalist and things like that. Well, chances are astronomically smaller will run to one of those, so let's do it here.
Okay.
Cap will look at Colleen and say, "Are you sure?"
Sure, at worst I don't remember any of it.
Okay. He does some research. Tells Rajuan that he'll need some specialized, well, not specialized, some other medical assistance, and Rajuan okays him to call in some folks. Rajuan turns to Cap and asks if you'd like to bring the others here and have the others go through the regular scan that you guys were trying to do while
Yes.
they prepare Colleen.
Yes,
Okay.
we'll get the others taken care of. If nothing else, it's good to have a really good baseline medical scan for everyone.
Yep. He agrees. All right. God damn it, Matt. And guards get a transmission or communication and tell Nemo and Dude that they can now come to the medical bay. They'll escort them.
Clark and Dude or Nemo and Dude?
Nemo, Dude.
Is Nemo my escort or is Nemo? I didn't think Nemo was volunteering.
He's not. He's just observing. Observing the tests.
Gotcha. Well, alright. Dude moseys.
Okay. Matt, you get much of the same description as was given yesterday. Well, as was given earlier for the other folks yesterday in game, and are escorted to the medical facility. The doctor has Dude stripped down, stand on the sensor. Meanwhile, Colleen is in a one of those doctor's beds, facing the other way. So, hooray for privacy. And there are a pair of doctors that are discussing and researching and preparing what they're going to be doing to her.
Cap listens to them.
There are
I was
some.
gonna say, as the patient, Colleen would actually request that they kind of discuss it with her, kind of walk her through the procedure, things like that.
They
Wants to
haven't
be
gotten
involved
to
in
that
a
part
treatment.
yet. They're still discussing and disagreeing about how to go about the procedures. You have asked a veterinarian to
Hey,
Perform surgery on a human.
Yes.
he didn't mention that what was the degree was in.
He didn't mention what?
What
He
his
didn't
degree
mention.
was
He
in?
said, "Yeah."
Oh.
He didn't mention he was a veterinarian.
Well, that's just the analogy, but he did say that you're going to need specialized attention and equipment, specialized knowledge and equipment to be doing this.
I think that was a subplot in either a zombie show or a zombie movie where the only medical practitioner was a veterinarian, and they had to be like, I know how to do this on horses.
Yeah, that was a subplot in Walking Dead with Maggie's dad, I believe. Um, anyways.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what's happening here. Is people who are not experts in something are trying to figure out how best to go about doing that thing. And yeah, they're more than willing to include Colleen in the discussion, although a little bit of it still goes over her head. But they also are showing a tendency to bat back and forth with each other when they disagree and kind of ignore what Colleen is saying.
Oh, she's mostly listening.
Okay. Meanwhile, over on the sensors and scans, Dude is getting bombarded with all of the scans, and it takes about as long as Dude's scan for them to come to agreement and start preparing for some kind of procedure with Colleen. Um, Dude gets his results, and the doctor says that he also shows normal cellular activities, normal cellular age. Um, Everything is within expected norms.
So you're saying that I ain't going to die from liver cirrhosis from drinking so much, right?
You could cut back, and
I suppose I could.
you could smoke less, but aside from that, you're fine.
Sounds like a clean bill of health to me. Is Rajuan in on this, or is he in on Colleen's?
He's kind of paying attention to both. He's paying more attention to Colleen's because this scanning procedure has been done well enough that he knows that it's a lot of waiting. But he paid attention as the results are being relayed, discussed.
Now I was looks like kind of over at Rajuan. I had kind of gotten the indication that you thought you might be able to look into dealing with backing up or pulling back memories, considering that this seems to be an indicator that I am at least the original model.
I apologize. I had thought that we had that knowledge here. Looks over at the doctor and the two folks that are going about. They're now going about setting up for Colleen. And back to Dude. What if we were just talking about memory loss from a blackout? I don't think there would have been as much discussion, but that's not the case, is it?
Well, it certainly doesn't seem like it. I mean, I feel like I know of case of there were people who just had regular old amnesia, but I somehow doubt that 6 people all at the same time would have picked up the same exact form of complete total amnesia without some sort of outside interference. We didn't all get the same exact type of head wound.
I'm not certain what this procedure they're setting up over here will produce.
Well,
And looks over at Cap. If you wish to pull your crew member out at any time, I understand.
She nods. If it starts to look like it's getting dangerous, we will stop.
If it starts to look like it's getting dangerous, it will be too late.
how gung-ho is Colleen about all this?
She's
Very.
an invincible teenager.
Well, yeah.
I mean, at least Dude would know, given the previous conversations, that she has massive issues with not knowing shit, especially about herself.
I think, Cap, I don't know that we can trust to her own sense of self-preservation on this. She's far more interested in the idea of knowing what went on than I think any of us are.
If this were a specialized facility for such activities, I would be. I would feel better about it. I don't feel good about this.
Well, it doesn't seem like the docs here feel that good about it either. I like to take that as an indicator of whether or not something's going to go off right. Is if the dude trying to do it to you doesn't think it's going to go off right, maybe it's a bad idea to begin with.
She nods and says, Colleen may be angry with me for a while, but let's not do this.
I think we're
Not
going to
right
need.
now.
Yeah, you're going to want to try. Well,
Ritual nods. The room, by the way, the room here is not large enough that you can really be having this discussion and not have Colleen hear it.
Oh, can they speak kind of quietly off in a corner?
You can. Just want to make it clear that it will be obvious that you're doing that. You could ask Rajuan if you could leave the room.
Just step outside for a moment to discuss things.
I mean, dude wouldn't have started the conversation by anything other than a low voice.
Okay.
He just kind of he says to Cap, "Well,
Let's say you guys stepped outside.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still all obvious to Colleen, but it allows you guys to at least have that discussion privately without her hearing the exact contents of it.
Yes. It's probably a good idea.
yeah, if you're gonna pull Captain Fiat on her, at least give her your rationale for it, because she's the kind of person that I think would, if you just told her no and didn't give her a good explanation for it, she'd figure out some way of doing this shit herself.
She may try to do that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we do the best we can to try to keep her in check.
Sometimes she's too smart for her own good.
Yeah, well, it's come in handy. Just you got to make sure that she understands that this is a postponement until we get to some place that actually has the good stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got it. Tell her brain is too valuable to risk.
Well, it is.
Well, yeah, it is, but you got to play up her sense of how awesome she is.
All right. Because I don't want to risk her.
Oh shit, no.
Or any of you.
Well, Much appreciated, Cat.
All right, let's go break the bad news. And she'll go back inside.
All right. And despite having been seeming to have been here enough now that you wouldn't be a constant gawking point, the Monans
Totally
outside are
are.
still gawking. Yes. At various
Those poor
levels.
people.
All right.
Poor Rajuan, too.
You two, Rajuan and Rajuan in the dock, go back inside.
Cap will go sit down next to Colleen.
Well, let's get that thing started.
That's not something I want to do right now. I understand you want to know what happened, but you are too valuable to me to risk something bad happening. And they just do not have the right kind of technology and knowledge here for me to be comfortable with this happening right now.
Yeah, but we don't know anyone else who has it either, and
No, but
let's...
we can find someone.
Not really, because any place that has decent medical facilities might just run a check on things. We can't really go to any official clinic because they might just flag us down.
I-
So it would have to be some street butcher somewhere, and I'd rather with people where I can actually say, hey, this is exactly what's happening, where I don't have to conceal something that might actually be important to this.
I think you're, Colleen. I understand what you're trying to say, but I feel like you're not giving enough credit to the underground of any particular planet or system. I gotta feel like there's enough interference from the higher level government stuff that there should be entire systems dedicated to nothing but staying off the radar, but staying high tech. I feel good about our odds of finding somebody off the books that has better technology than these guys do, and I trust your brain in the condition it is now more than I trust their equipment on your brain, because they seem really shaky on this whole thing.
Well, just have to discuss kind of what the best plan of approach is there. But in this case, like we found out, not knowing is a serious downside to things.
Well, yeah, but their indication is that the best option is not to do this because they don't know that they ain't gonna screw you up completely.
And in that, I do trust their judgment.
Like, it doesn't seem like they want to do this. They're only doing it because you're asking.
Well, that's why we're discussing options on how to best do it. But this is the only place that's at least trustworthy.
Well, all
Right
right.
now, so just a second. How about we postpone this and give them more time to work things out and maybe get some better equipment in? And if they do, then we can revisit this.
yeah, the dude, the other people, the other doctors and whatnot are still in the room. They were doing their discussion and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude glances over at the docs talking, kind of goes,
Well, they're done talking. They're
Okay.
listening to you guys now.
"All right." The dude looks at him and says, "Hey, Doc. far as you're concerned, based on what you got going on right now, do you think there's better than 50 odds on getting this done?
And not frying her brain.
Oh, well,
In all honesty, I don't know what we'll find. We don't
Yeah,
have
can say.
the right equipment for this. We don't have anyone here
Right.
who knows.
Right.
You know, we're doing this because Rajuan says to take care of you guys, but
I got you.
this is like trying to fix a bruise with a hammer. Oh, okay,
Well,
maybe not that bad.
give me this. Based on that, what do you think the likelihood of lobotomizing this poor girl?
Or
There is a
doing
silence.
serious irreparable damage.
I don't think it's a high risk, but it's not knowing is what scares me.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
hey,
I
okay, hang
I
on,
don't
Colleen.
want to turn her into
Uh-huh.
a vegetable.
If this was your daughter on the table, would you
No.
let her go through with it? I didn't think so. Colleen, the lack of information is certainly a detriment, but the lack of you would be a way bigger detriment to us and to you.
Technically, if it goes wrong, I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh well,
Yeah, but I wouldn't
that's
be
a
able to
bullshit
forgive
response.
myself.
You That's like saying I'd be dead and I wouldn't care. That's a bullshit response and you know it. You can pretend not to care. That ain't how it works.
There's a time and place for this, and it's not now.
Rajuan steps
Old
forward.
college.
Honestly, promise me we find the place for it.
Rajuan steps
yeah,
forward
no
and
shit.
says, "If you can find any such equipment specialized for this procedure, but don't trust the doctor, bring it here, and we will see what we can work out of it."
And there you go.
Alright, in that case, I want a full list of the equipment that's needed.
Because I tell you, if we find some place or someone or some set of equipment that has the potential to reliably do this, I'd probably be right in line behind you. So this isn't a we ain't doing this and screw you, kid. We're not doing what you want. This is let's be safe and table this.
And I don't know what that
Fine.
list of equipment will be. You'll know it when you see it. Bring manuals with you as well, please.
Well, yeah, no
Of
shit.
course.
You know, I'd have a lot harder time down in the shop if you was a vegetable. You know.
And all of the other things that we rely on you for.
Oh, please, I could do that stuff as a vegetable. I'd still be better than most of them.
I know you think so.
Well, I don't know, Cap. To be fair, even her at running 50%, it'd still be running circles around most of us. But yeah, kid, we'd rather have you. Shit. In the position we're in, we need you at 100% because I don't. I mean, shit. We wouldn't have gotten away from that goddamn ship if you hadn't been running interference. You know that.
Yes, that was pretty clever, wasn't it?
We'd be a space smear. At some point, somebody would be hitting the windshield wipers out in that system, being like, "What the hell is this shit?"
Alright, alright. How about we postpone this project? And we built it wrong.
That I can get behind.
All right. Android is something that keep me busy.
I tell you what, we do that. If you help me a little bit, because I could use a little more decoration ideas from a metal guitar, and I'm kind of, I feel like I'm hitting a stylistic limit on my art. Like I can build it, but I want it to look good.
Oh, not a problem. I actually have a lot of material in that free screen stuff we got.
Right on.
Tons of designs.
hmm
Have you considered spikes?
I thought about it, but how do I keep them from stabbing myself?
You don't.
All
It's
right, we
metal.
can talk about this later.
Come on, kid. And dude kind of
Let's get out of. Let's get
pats
out of
Colleen's
here.
shoulder and says, "Let's go."
Alright, and with you guys heading back to the ship, we are right on
Perfect.
time. I'm gonna go ahead and end the session here.